Hello. Hello. Can you hear my entire room? Yeah, listen to that wheel. Um. So today's gonna be kind of a weird day. Why aren't men wifing us?
But there's something to be said about age and experience, life experience. A lot happens in your 20s, and things level out.
Getting ran through in baggage and trauma.
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah,
There's people with
men don't want that.
intelligence.
Men don't want that.
So then why aren't they wifing us early? Why are they running around town? Like, if they don't want us ran through in baggage and trauma, why are they they're waiting till, how are we so at 20 I should be looking for 40-year-olds that are ready to settle? I don't know how to
Not necessarily.
I don't know how it sounds like just a losing battle all around if you look at it as all the responsibilities.
But it depends on.
How the fuck? Get your shit together, bitch! What are you doing? If you can't find a dude that's trying to wipe you up, then go to fucking school. Focus on your business. Get your money up. Stop being a hoe. Go do something productive with your life. Don't be so. Oh my god, that's such a stupid thing to say.
If you're a wife, all wives are found always. If you're 20 years old and you're a wife, you're going to be found. Period. In a store.
Yeah, be a wife.
But there's something to be said about age and experience.
No, there's nothing to be said about age and experience. I wanted a wife when I was 20 years old too. Okay? I asked my girlfriend to marry me when I was fucking when I was 20 years old. We still haven't gotten married. I don't think she wants to get married anymore. It's cool. We're not it's just it is what it is, but we're us men that want a wife are out there. But we don't want a wife that's not a wife.
Life experience. A lot happens in your.
She's not even wearing a bra. Look, her nipples showing. I can see all her areola right there.
20s, and things level out.
Getting ran through in baggage and trauma.
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah,
There's people with
men don't want that.
intelligence.
Men don't want that.
So then why aren't they wifing us early? Why are
Wiping us?
they running around town? If they don't want us ran.
First of all, if a guy is running around town like that, he's not a man. He's a boy.
Through and baggage and trauma, why are they they're waiting till how are we so
And
are so
like
20 I should be looking.
the old motto goes, boys will be boys, right? Girls will be girls, I guess. We can say that too. If you're a girl and you're running around town fucking God knows who, letting whoever you want touch your fucking genitals, then you're a fucking girl. You're not a woman. You're not wifey material.
Looking for 40-year-olds that are ready to settle. I don't know how to.
Not necessarily.
I don't know how you.
Get your fucking shit together. Stupid bitch. I'm just kidding. But do get your
There's
shit
a billion
together.
people
Everyone,
in India, but they
men
don't have the same
and
problem
women
that
alike,
China has.
need to get their
China
shit
has
together.
that weird problem where there's way more guys than there are girls. That's crazy.
Yeah.
They fucked up. The fact that they didn't see the math on that one-child policy.
I think they'd be pretty good at that. The math.
I would think. Isn't that like a thing that they're kind of known for?
I don't know anything about
I
that.
think that. It's like,
Yeah.
how the fuck did they not see where that was going to be a disaster in the future? There's a whole generation of guys that have no girls. There's what are you going to do? There's no girls.
They're gonna get aggressive.
What the fuck are they going to do?
Damn.
They're gonna rape and pillage our women. They're gonna see America's weak, and they're gonna attack America and take all our stuff.
Yeah.
They're like, you got women's. Give me your women's.
Not good.
Whack off the cartoons.
Because even in this country where it's 50-50,
Yeah.
basically,
They're gonna hit us with that kung fu, and we're gonna hit them with that pop, 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 boxing.
do you know that 64% of men are single and only 34% of women are single? How? How's that? How does that even work?
Wait. 64% of men are single.
Yeah, see if we can find the numbers. But I
And
think
women.
it's men of a certain
Oh,
age.
you know what it is? That was just men fucking chicks that are like, we're not dating.
That's what I said.
And women are like, no, we're in a relationship. You know how it is.
I think it's a little of
We're
that.
fucking
And then
girl,
it's-
and she's like, what are we?
yeah, right.
Like, what have we been telling people we are? What the fuck are you talking about? We're nothing. Can't I just use you, please?
Can't we just use each other?
Yeah.
Like the Bill Withers song?
Unfortunately, I'm not a guy that, yeah. They want to date me. I'm not a guy that like, oh, I just want to fuck
you don't
that
get
guy.
used?
I'm not like a hot guy.
You wish you were used?
I don't know. Do you?
Occasionally, back in the day, that was the best thing.
Getting used?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you had a gal that was just wanted to fuck,
It's pretty neat.
oh my god. Especially if you weren't into anything else. Because sometimes, look, the reality is sometimes you're attracted to someone that you're not compatible with,
Yeah.
but they're hot. So
Yeah.
you're attracted to them sexually.
Yeah.
But the problem is usually that one person is into the
Sexually.
other person more than, you know,
Wait,
there's,
when he said that, I just thought of Key and Peele. This guy Wendell.
I wake up next to this guy.
It's crazy. My life, sexually speaking.
Sexually speaking.
it's like psychological elements to it that become a problem.
Certainly.
Yeah, and if the guy is the one using the girl, he's a piece of shit. But if the girl's the one using the
She's a
guy,
boss.
like, yeah, great. Way to go.
Yeah, she's a ball. We did flip that.
Adults between 18 and 29 who say they're single. Yeah, this is it. So there's 51% of men in 2019. What?
I'm sorry.
51% of men in 2019, and by the time it got to 2022, it's 63%. So the pandemic kicked it up 12%, but the women stayed the same and just slightly more. More who say they're single, so 34% versus 32% for women. But the men went up 12 fucking percent. But I think what they're saying is these women during the pandemic started dating
I'll
older
be right
guys.
back. I'm gonna go get my my weights from the other room. Okay. Oops.
So when the jobs went away and everything went south, they shacked up with some dudes with money.
All right.
Probably.
That's fair.
Oh shit.
I mean, wouldn't that make sense? Like, look at 18 to 29 for men. 63% are single. That's pretty wild. But age 65 plus,
18 to 29?
and you
29.
look at 65 plus, 25% are single. 50 to 64, 28% are single. 30 to 49, 25% are single. So that's what it is. It's the 18 to 29 guys.
It's funny at 65 plus. There's more women because all the men are dead.
God damn.
Yeah.
18
That's
to 29.
40% are
I'm
single.
28.
Turn.
Dudes are
I'm in the
croaking.
top.
Yeah, look, as soon as it hits 50,
30%.
the women start to move forward.
Yeah.
Because dudes start dropping dead of heart attacks, working
20
90
something
hours a
percent.
week.
20.
And just coming home just hating your
27%.
life.
It's got to feel good, though.
What, to die?
And you're like, oh, here it is. Oh, fuck, this hurts. It hurts way more than I thought. Ah.
That's a wrap.
Yeah. Call it a day.
I don't know, man. It's the whole fucking finding the compatible person thing. Like, Jesus Christ. I can't imagine it.
No. Especially now.
Especially today.
Social media, that hurts, dude. You can look it up. Start talking to a girl, you scroll back, you're like, God damn, she's got a lot of boyfriends in these, you know? See the
Girls have
digital foot, the
options.
puss print.
They have so many options.
Yeah.
A hot girl who's online. Like if you are going back and forth with a hot girl, if you're a young guy now, you're a 30-year-old guy now, and there's another girl, and she's 30 also.
Yeah.
And you go to her Instagram, she'll, wow, she's really pretty. 284,000 followers.
I'm out. Yeah, it's over.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh,
And then
dude,
you look
I
at the
agree.
likes
I
and
agree with that.
comments.
I agree with that.
Drake
100%.
fire and
God
hearts.
damn it. Drake liked it?
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
It's
It's
over.
all rappers in there and athletes.
Black people.
and it's not like because I can't take it. Like I wouldn't mind if my girl is posting stuff like that, but there's got to be some context behind it. It can't just be like a thirst trap. It's got to be well, Ela, she posts images now that could be considered thirst trappy, but the thing with her is she has a brand that she's promoting. She's also trying to be inspirational to other women. She's so like besides the confidence thing, it's benefiting their business in a good way. And so it makes sense that she would post stuff like that because it's for the business. It's not for to get attention. And the attention obviously feels good. So that's just a bonus at that point. But
Fucking rock stars. Everybody's
there
just
you go.
slinging
yeah,
dick.
it's
Everybody's just slinging dick.
Yeah.
but these girls that do that, they're either thirst trapping or they're doing OnlyFans. And also with like the OnlyFans thing, like I wouldn't mind a girl with an OnlyFans if they're like just if they're not posting fucking pornography on there, like because there's girls that have OnlyFans and the only thing they post on there are like the type of images that they would post on like Instagram for free, or that other girls would post on Instagram or on Twitter or any place for free. So that's kind of smart, like that's pretty. I think that's pretty smart. She's a fucking full-fledged businesswoman at that point, and so I see nothing wrong with that. It's the girls that are like just full badge on their fucking Twitter that like I could never. It's just she's for the streets. She's public property. Not property. Just she's a public grill.
Yeah.
It's a tough time.
It is a tough time.
They'll be alright. You don't think they're gonna be alright?
No, it's gonna lead people to have sex with robots. That's coming.
Sex with robots.
Yeah. I think you're gonna go over a dude's house and he's gonna have a robot
Leave it
lead.
out. You're gonna go,
There's nothing wrong with robots.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
And there have been, maybe 4 or 5 leading hypotheses about why women do it. And
What
this
is
is
this?
one area
Reasons for
where
female
I've changed
male
my mind on
infidelity
pretty
explained by
dramatic.
monogamy is a choice. That's what you're saying? That's what I got out of it. Monogamy is a choice, and you gotta fucking choose it. If you don't like the dude you're with, if you don't like anything, because monogamy is a choice, you can just choose to opt out of it and go find another person. Yeah, that sounds about right. No one's with somebody just because that's they have to be. I think the statistics from the last one that shows 63% of men are single. The guys that do have girlfriends probably aren't in any rush to lose their girlfriend, and if they did, they know it'd be difficult for them to get another one. So they'd be in that 60 whatever percent for a while. That's my assumption here. Yeah, all that makes sense. It's just really weirdly worded. But yeah, I get it. I get that. And like, some people might say, oh, well, just, learn to keep it in your pants. Well, it's really not that simple, I guess, right? Because if it was, then most people wouldn't do it. Guys don't exactly have opportunities showing up fucking 24/7. I know I don't. I don't have girls fucking just like, hey, you wanna fuck? That shit never happens.
Joe Rogan Experience.
Yeah, where does our guilt extend? Like, if we outsource all the...
But the opposite can't be said, right? Like, you can't say that for women. Women probably get guys asking if they want to fuck all the time. And they have to say no. They're the ones that are constantly just like, nope, 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 nope. Or even flirting, right? Like, that, it starts with flirting.
Things that we're guilty of.
How often do girls or women just flirt with dudes? If they're not like crazy handsome. That's some good environment right there. What's woke mean again? Vernacular, meaning alert to racial prejudice and discrimination. Well, then so is Joe Rogan. He's out here talking about cobalt. Fuck cobalt. I guess to some degree so am I. I'm awake. Veritasium? Big think. Male inequality? Ugh. Ugh. Yeah, this has already been explained. Why are they still talking about it? Oh shit. Doggy. Is there a way to filter this by recently uploaded? I guess so. AI anti-cheat.
1 out of every 3 players in an online FPS game are cheating.
Means when it connects to your PS5, it's literally just connecting to the remote play.
And then in other games, it's way more than that.
What does this revelation mean for the future of gaming in general?
So it's an AI aimbot?
Yeah, AI aimbot.
Works in any game.
They sell these by the millions.
And it's not just your little brother either. At every level of the industry, from pros to streamers, cheating is rampant.
And it will become a real job to cheat in his game. It's a full-fledged business.
Are you getting old?
Yeah.
Is gaming changing? Or is it that rampant cheating is not fun?
Over a year ago, we set out to use AI with one goal in mind: saving FPS games. We're ready for you to submit your clips to help train our model. What you're about to witness in this video is the solution. The solution to cheating in online gaming. To help fund this project through the form of sponsoring this video is Opera GX. They agreed the more views and downloads Opera GX gets through this video, the more funding that will go to the project.
4 days ago, but I've heard about this
by
before.
being here, you are helping. Thank you. As you got,
Has this guy made another video?
Imagine using a printer as.
I think I've seen a video where he first announced this. Anyways.
You guys know I download a lot of SUSBUS programs.
Individual. It's opening very fast.
And sometimes my network will just be getting used. Like my browser's sending Bitcoin to the ether. I don't know. I'm scared. But what I can do in the Opera GX control thing here is I can actually limit the amount of network that's being used by the browser. So yeah, if I'm getting hacked, it's going to be a slow hack. It's going to take you some time, brother. And on top of that, you can limit the amount of RAM that Opera GX is using. Bruh, look at this Chrome like no meme. You get 3 tabs open and then it's all over, man. And a CPU limiter. Anything to stop the potential of micro stutters in a game, because if I get micro stutters, I get a bad attitude. And if I get a bad attitude, I pee on the couch like a dog. No more peeing on the couch with Opera GX. We've also got GX Corner, which is basically like a tailored homepage. There's fresh gaming news, current deals you might be interested in, as well as like a release calendar for upcoming games. By the way, if you use my link in the description, it'll show you my last 10 videos straight there in the browser. Oh, yo, look at that. So you don't have to miss them, because I wouldn't want you to miss them. And ayo, they made me a wallpaper, boys, straight in the browser. Use my browser, and I'm looking at you. This thing's very customizable. A bunch of Opera add-on wallpapers you can just add just like that. And it's on mobile. Opera GX on your phone. So if you want to support this project of using AI to save FPS games, then get Opera GX. Use my link below. Seriously, in this specific scenario, for one time only, installing Opera GX will help stop cheaters in FPS games. So please do it. And thank you, Opera GX, for sponsoring this video. Seriously, in this specific using AI to save FPS games, then get Opera GX.
Descriptions download. Help save. How does this
use my link below? Seriously, in this specific scenario, for one time only, installing Opera GX.
What the fuck is that? Are you kidding me? Really?
Will help stop cheaters in FPS games, so please do it. And thank you, Opera GX, for sponsoring this video. So let me be straight up with you guys. Let me just come clean, okay? I have done steroids. I've never told anyone this. I've never really explained it this way, but I did steroids. Or at least I thought for sure they were steroids. So when I was 14, I wanted to be jacked out of my mind, man. I wanted to look like a bunch of rocks saran wrapped together and be able to like bench press a. So this is basically the final form of on every cyst with certainty that I wasn't going to start growing lady parts.
Nipples are itchy, man.
Point is, you can take a shortcut to something, but there will be a consequence somewhere, somehow, eventually. What those consequences will look like, I think is now up to us somewhat. So cheating in online FPS games is the worst it's ever been, ever, right now. On every system, console included, at every level, around 30% of players in any given game are cheating. So this is basically the final form of the AI cheats that single-handedly killed FPS games about a year ago. This program essentially acts as like a mediator between remote play and the game. All it uses is a live stream of your game. So as long as you have an internet connection that's like 2 megabytes per second, one, it enables mouse and keyboard on console.
What is that?
Worse is you can essentially plug in an AI aim assist. It can use AI to read the screen, find the enemies, send input back to whatever system you're using, console included, and then aim at the enemy for you. So it's basically just acting as your remote play controller.
Yeah.
Dude, that's
and it gives you
nuts.
the feed.
To get access to it.
How's that even fun?
And he infiltrated this website. He made the cheaters. He convinced them to like him so that they would give him the cheat. It took months. I'm just kidding. He paid $5. So for a few bucks or a free version that comes with a virus, you can pretend you're better than everyone else. This can never be detected by an anti-cheat scanning what's running on the system, because all of this is running only off of watching the game the same way you do. So this is an 8-person free-for-all where all of us have cheats installed and one person is chosen at random to enable their cheats, but no one knows who it is. And we're all trying to guess who's the person that has cheats enabled.
Someone's a hacker right now?
Yep.
That guy's not cheating.
Should be at least.
That guy's cheating.
Oh my gosh.
Not cheating.
I just wanted.
Not cheating.
2 back to back. Okay.
Yeah, man. I'm cracked out of my mind. Keep in mind, we have a point system going here, and we're trying to not get detected as the hacker by the other players. Also, these are the devs that are so graciously donating their time to work on the Waldo project for all of us. I'm linking the Waldo Discord and a few other things. Go give them a big thank you.
Cheating. No, not cheating. Cheating.
Nice job.
7.
So take a look at the footage. See if you can guess which one of these angles
El
is someone using
Ramina.
aim assist.
El Ramina.
I'm thinking home, honestly.
Yeah, it was
Yeah, I thought you said.
Oh, dude, that's a bad idea, boys. I just left this part in so you guys would know it wasn't me and that I'm just cracked out of my mind. I'll be honest, dude, I just had to double check to make sure they were off. I'm just saying. So make your guess. You're left with a 1 in 3 chance of getting it correct. The answer will be at the end of the video and in the description. Point is, you can't tell.
Ramina. You can tell. Let me see. Husky? Oh! That was my second guess. No, that was my first one by accident.
One of these angles is someone using aim assist.
I'm thinking home, honestly.
Yeah, it was.
I thought you said.
Oh, I'm just.
There was one time where Husky looked like he was cheating. That one didn't.
They're designed to have smoothing and look natural, look like human aim. But to a trained AI, the difference is night and day. The best way to describe it is like having a trained medical physician try and tell the difference between someone that's really jacked on steroids and then like a dog. There's no mistaking it. Couldn't just a really advanced AI cheat go undetected with lots of human data? No, this is a permanent solution to end the cat and mouse forever, and I will explain why I'm getting there. A lot of people ask, what about ESP? Okay. What would you say is the most distinguishable trait to tell if someone is cheating based on your experience of, like antagonizing them in game?
I mean, there are a lot of things.
This is Goat, aka Tim. He wanted to know just how many people were cheating in Tarkov, so he installed cheats with the intentions of finding the cheaters.
Kill to death ratio, what gun they have out, how much ammo they have, everything with his cheat. Game sense is something that is a really big deal in a game like Tarkov. How to move around the map, where to look, how to set up your gun.
So what is it that he used to distinguish if someone was cheating or not? I can't believe it. No. Before the wiggle, as funny as that is. This duo was the highest KD that I came across that I think was legit. If you looked at them on the radar, they were just constantly looking around. The little things were just going everywhere. And they were checking areas where just no one was there. It's painfully clear that these two Chads are legit. How refreshing. And then you'd watch these other guys that have like 20-something KD. Just running straight into a building, straight to a jacket to get their item, straight out. Yeah. And straight a different way. And when you looked around that area on the map, there was nobody that could kill them. And they just already knew that, so they didn't have to.
God damn, dude.
Looking at human behavior. Do we know of anything that can kind of detect human behavior? I don't know. Is there any technology out there that can kind of look at human behavior and see if it's human or not? I don't know, guys. I don't know. There is an extremely distinguishable behavior between someone using cheats and someone not using cheats. So we thought instead of just aim cheats, what about an AI that can detect everything? An AI that analyzes player behavior and determines if they're cheating based on how they're interacting with the game with over 99% accuracy. This is what will save FPS games. Now I realize that sounds like a pipe dream, like an impossible solution that's years away, another hopeless dream of one-day gaming with no cheaters online, and here's the twist. It already exists. Someone made it, and it wasn't us. For days, I was tearing my hair out. Why is this not in every single game? What is going on? I had so many theories. Game developers don't need good anti-cheat. Everyone keeps playing. Cheating in games, this whole other industry, is stimulating the game. As a game dev, why would you stop it?
There is technically financial reward for them if the cheaters keep buying accounts.
AI anti-cheat exists. Game devs are not using it. Luckily, the truth was the simplest answer.
And just this year, early January 2023, we started to implement it in big games, and so it's starting from now. It's happening as we speak.
This is the CGO and CEO of AnyBrain, the AI anti-cheat that detects everything. How does it distinguish between some...
I like it.
Someone that is say using like an ESP in a game versus someone that isn't.
What we do is every player is providing data about how it is possible to perform the games. Let's say you have a reaction time when you find an opponent and you move to there is different cognitive skills that we apply when we are playing a game. Yeah. And what we can extract from these behaviors is these cognitive skills that are being applied on a specific moment. They are not human.
So it's learning constantly. Is that okay?
Yeah, exactly.
And so what percentage of people would you say are cheating in some form?
We always start with a very high threshold, meaning that we do not necessarily catch everybody, but everybody that we're catching, we're 100% sure. We usually see between maybe 10, 15, 20% of players that are cheating. We are fairly certain that the phenomenon is much higher than that. And again, that's why we created, Andre created AnyBrain.
My kind of estimation based on a bunch of different numbers was around 30% are using something to improve.
Yeah,
okay.
We're thinking along the same lines here.
And they're under NDA, so they couldn't tell me exactly which game, but they had data to back up these claims.
Every time we catch somebody cheating, what we need also is multiple moments that have a very high probability of being somebody using a namebot. So a pro will have very few of these moments because they are just very good, right?
Yes.
But in order for us to make that validation actually get flagged of you using, let's say, an aimbot in the game, that means that we would make moves that have a very, very high probability of being aimbots and doing that multiple times.
So let's say hypothetically, I'm only using a very small amount of humanized aim assist. Is this something that you think your system would be able to detect?
Yeah, so first, a lot of people is using that small adjustment that is make it invisible on a video, or if you're watching the stream, it's so difficult because the difference is on human eye it's almost impossible to catch. But the way we interact is still impossible to make it as a human.
Can you expound a little maybe, or maybe help me understand just a little better?
Yeah, let's say that you are just adjusting a few pixels The way you move with this adjustment, it will be not natural, timing that is not human. Even if in our eye it looks human, but on pixel level, but also on these patterns, it is not human. So that's why we can catch it. People say, oh, he was cheating, I'm sure, because it is impossible to aim on that way. Sometimes it's just lucky, or you are really good. So it's difficult for people to understand, and the result of false claims about, oh, he was cheating or no, because he's so good player, it's impossible. But here, looking just for these patterns on pixel level, we can understand this.
After a few hours of gameplay of someone using a humanized aim assist, it would be able to detect that that's happening.
The usual behaviors, like let's say somebody using an aimbot on Warzone, actually real time plus 5 minutes in order to flag somebody who is using that.
To detect someone in real time can take as little as 5 minutes.
Exactly.
Wow, that's really cool.
It felt almost like I was in a dream. Like I was gonna wake up and tell Olivia that I had a dream that someone made the AI anti-cheat that solved everything.
And this will happen in the coming months. We are fairly confident that something's gonna happen, something's gonna click in this year.
But it got even better.
2 hours is to create the player profile
for what we call identity frauds.
What they're talking about is a biometric profile, a profile as distinguishable as your thumbprint or your face.
So this will need the baseline.
Right. Okay. So that's what they were talking about, the behaviors. Like, so it would, your behaviors, the way that you move, the way that you act, like it. Okay. Every once in a while, maybe you'll get lucky. Maybe you'll get that sick ass shot through the smoke. Or whatever, but if you do that very often, it starts to become less feasible that you just got lucky.
Each and every one of us as gamers
on how you play the game. This means that once you get banned, it's not as simple as creating another account. If you create another account, the AI detects your biometric profile. Every account you make will be banned. There's no hardware ID, it's you. You will be permanently banned from the game with no chance of ever playing it again.
We're fairly confident that some things are about to change.
The implications of this are insane, especially if the game has a replay system. If you have ever cheated and the data is saved server side, you are then able to be caught at any point in the future. If you cheat, you will be caught. It's just a matter of time. The biometric fingerprint of a pro player or streamer could be seen on an alt account that was hacking a year ago or last week or currently. Now, I don't know if these things will be done with this data, but I can tell you that FPS games, all online multiplayer games, are saved. Now, the Waldo project is different. It plans to put this power of knowing in your hands. A way to know if any player is cheating simply by scanning the gameplay footage, laying bare the truth, and leaving the effects up to us. We now confirm it's possible, and in fact need your help to make it a reality. A full technical update of the Waldo project is available on Rican Samurai's channel. I think the glory days of online FPS games are not behind us, but are ahead of us. And if you're one of the 1 in 3 people that are cheating in online FPS games, I got one question for you. Are your nipples getting itchy?
Oh man.
I think you should all know I am going to be AFK for a few days towards the end of this month. Not much internet here. Sure hope I don't miss something. Miss something.
Miss something.
I know that a lot of you won't have access to Counter-Strike 2 just yet. I only got access today, so this is one of a few quick first impression videos that I'll be doing, simply to show you what the whole thing looks like. I don't think I ever thought or cared about what happened to the main menu with regards to Source 2, but it's the first big thing that you'll notice when you boot Counter-Strike 2 up, and is going to be a place that you spend a fair chunk of your time. So it's worth covering. Once you get access to Counter-Strike 2, the loading it out from Steam will present this menu from which you can select the new and limited version of your favourite game. Instead of the game loading to a black screen screen saying CSGO, it now shows a black screen saying Valve, and then displays a brief 2-second video introducing Counter-Strike 2. Yes, it looks a bit bugged right now on a 4K screen, but that's what beta tests are for, right? In my mind, the panorama overhaul the game got all those years ago was when I considered the main menu to be modernised. But even that was almost 5 years ago now, so perhaps it is about time it's re-modernised again. Just as a reminder, the old menu was rubbish and not worth covering. Then, the old menu was very busy looking and was all 2D boxes and sections. Then, Panorama tidied this up, hiding more stuff away and swapping the focus for this 3D character model on a 2D background. This new Source 2 menu goes further in this direction by hiding everything out of sight by default, and by dominating the screen with a 3D shot from the game itself. Any button you click on swaps this out for a full screen display of whatever it is you've just clicked on, maximising screen space, which I like. If you want to view the news, your whole screen gets news, and so on. I would like for it to be made more obvious that you can scroll down some of these screens. Existing players will know that we can, but there's no visible scrolling bar down the side because our friends list hogs the right hand side of the screen where the scroll bar normally is and stuff. So I'd say to switch the friends list over to the left hand side of the screen and to have a visible and usable scroll bar on the right. You have the different subsections listed along the top, but on the scroll bar you could even have lines on it to indicate where different chapters start. You may think the most exciting thing about Source 2 would be the maps themselves, but since in this limited test version the only map available is Dust 2, and with that only being a Source 2 port of a Source 1 map, right now the biggest graphical change in this new version of Counter-Strike is likely on this screen of the in-game weapons and items. When you inspect music kits, previously they looked like some child's MP3 player, but now it looks more like the vinyls that they're displayed as elsewhere, and they're really high-res and shiny, like really shiny. And the gun models are a huge improvement too. Here's the old Deagle, and here's the new one. The poly count is greatly increased, the texture detail is also, and the sheen looks so much more like it should do now. Some would say this is too shiny, but not me. And since you've already forgotten how the old one looks, here it is again. Looks like CS 1.6, doesn't it? Guess I'll have to remake all my skin showcase videos. And the other improvement is that they can now be inspected from all different directions instead of just from a 360-degree spin around the side angles. I'd like it more if they could be rotated infinitely far in all ways, and then if they only gradually slow down once I stop flicking my mouse, just because I like that feature. And this is how the character model inspection screen compares. You can zoom in and out a lot faster than you could before, but you can't spin the character around, which makes me really sad. Big step backwards there, or maybe Valve's just standing still. Because what we had previously in CSGO was much better. For the most part, Counter-Strike 2's menus may look different, but they behave similarly to what we had in CSGO. But there's one page that's really exciting, at least for me, and that's the advanced graphics menu, because this is a Source 2 graphics menu. A lot of it you've seen before, but there are a few new features and changes. I absolutely love this preview area to show the differences the settings will make in real time. Every game should have something like this, it really helps. Just remember to change zoom to big pixels at the bottom because there's no point in using zoom, and this will show you how the pixels will really look. Let's begin the pixel peeping with some anti-aliasing. RIP FXAA, that was the rubbish kind of anti-aliasing that everybody hated. It blurred everything and it hasn't even worked properly for the last few years. We instead get a new option called CMAA2, which I don't know much about, but it looks kind of like it's FXAA but cleverer. So expect lines to be blurrier when they should be blurrier, less blurry when they shouldn't be, and for some places to look even nicer than the slower MSAA options do. However, CMAA2 still fails to touch other bits quite as much, like around the edges of the plants and the subpixel lines. So MSAA is still the real deal for anti-aliasing. It's really strange that Source 2 still uses MSAA, which is hardly ever seen in modern games these days. But to summarise, MSAA is the proper good kind of anti-aliasing that may slow your frame rates down, and CMAA2 is the new fast kind of anti-aliasing that's sort of like FXAA but a bit better. But check this out, Counter-Strike now has upscaling. You know DLSS and how great that is? This is nowhere near as good. Its purpose will be mostly to improve your frame rates by running the game at a lower resolution without you having to set the game to a silly looking resolution. FSR should still make the game look better than if you just used a lower resolution instead, but even the highest quality setting of it will still show a noticeable drop in image quality. Stuff will just look a bit over sharpened and blobby, but some of you may be into that sort of thing, so give it a go. It's just a shame that this game uses FSR 1, because the newer FSR 2 is a really good upscaler that I'd recommend everyone to use should the game eventually feature it. But still, it's great to see Valve using a universal option like FSR that everybody can use, as opposed to one that's locked to a particular type of graphics card. The game also features NVIDIA Reflex, which should reduce the delay before your PC displays the latest image. AMD's equivalent technology would be AMD Anti-Lag. I loaded Counter-Strike 2 on an AMD graphics card, and I'm sorry to say that such a feature is not currently included. How much of an issue is this? It depends on your setup. You can see here in NVIDIA's slide that even they demonstrate the difference it has on a lower end PC, where the graphics card is less powerful and where the screen is limited to 60 Hz. The graph shows that faster graphics cards and higher monitor refresh rates also helps to minimize latency. But I guess no matter how powerful your PC is, if this option's there then you might as well enable it. And I strongly suspect that turning this option on is going to become a staple of all those how to optimize Counter-Strike 2 guides that will be coming out throughout this game's lifetime. So moving to Source 2 obviously improves some things about the game's graphics, but most of the newly added graphics features seem to be catered towards budget systems, where users need just that little bit of extra help to hit a playable frame rate. As much as I want to, I'm not going to go too in depth about the graphics options in this video, but I will briefly cover a few other interesting things I noticed. When set to zoom mode, which is the pointless one, the shadows bug out. Valve, please fix. Also, lower particle settings makes this black smoke easier to see through, suggesting that you have an advantage. Again, Valve, please fix. Although, in practice, I found it didn't make any difference what you set your particle setting to, since there's nowhere on Dust 2 where such a smokestack appears for real. So it could just be that this smokestack here on the graphics menu is only here to demonstrate what difference it could make. But what a way to make people choose those settings, believing it gives them an advantage where it probably doesn't. If higher settings does lead to thicker plumes of smoke, then I hope such changes are only visible above or beyond the playable space, where it won't directly affect gameplay. Though I'm sure Valve knows this.
What about an actual smoke?
And the shadows option is interesting, because setting it to low appears to disable most shadows, which is something that even CSGO didn't dare do. What I mean by disable is that it turns off the real-time lighting on all but a few things, falling back on static, pre-calculated shadows instead. Sort of like earlier Counter-Strike games used to. You can see here what CSGO would have looked like without its real-time shadows. Yuck. So this means the lowest shadow setting in CS2 might be even less demanding on PCs than CSGO's lowest shadow settings were. And yet CS2s still look better. I'd argue that these static shadows often look more realistic than even CS2's higher shadow settings do. And yet, even with all this extra detail, the Dust 2 map for CS2 is still smaller in size than it was in CSGO. It might not be a fair comparison, but I compared the map file sizes out of curiosity, and CSGO's version of Dust 2 is 318 megabytes, whereas the Source 2 version is just 265. I can't be sure that all this is just lighting information, but I know already that Source 2's maps can be much better shrunk down in size, given their quality relative to Source 1 maps.
Wow.
Oh, what's that? You don't care? I'll move on. In fact, that's it. I guess you didn't want an in-depth analysis of menu screens, and instead wanted a video that was more of a general overview of Counter-Strike 2. But since I was too busy
crazy. It looks better and it performs better.
I've decided to actually investigate the game in more depth before giving my thoughts on it. Crazy, I know. But right now, the feeling I'm getting from this new game is that it's the perfect sort of update for a player base that's bored of how things are, but that doesn't want it to change.
I hope they include this any brain in it. Counter-Strike 2 experience. Oh, no way. No way. Dude, that's gonna be so annoying. There's so many. Whoa. Are they gonna fix that? Is that a bug, or did they really? Is that what they really intended? That's awesome.
There's going to be a whole lot of emotions, and I think people will do the best they can to abuse these new mechanics, which I think is super exciting.
Team 27015 up against the Beta Boys. Dust 2 for our first round of Counter-Strike 2, and look up mid comes Diha. Look at this! Already they've been taken down. Running into Shalfie and the USP.
Oh my, it's kicking off and it's already getting quite spicy in here. Tetsis goes tumbling down though, and that's the way they start things off.
And that was quick. That was it quick. I think from the T side, maybe just using a couple utilities.
Shalfie towards the lower position, because brave to do so in the second round. Oh, here's the Harry Deagle. He actually wins out against Snappy, drops the rifle. He's coming for more, and now met by force. A nice defensive spray. Shalfie's chipped away at 2.
Canadian's in B. He's gonna wait. Step there. The sounds are now, you can hear the sound. You can see it on the radar. You know. He knows he's heard. And they're gonna retake him immediately. Fame doesn't give him the chance to plant that bomb. It's just gonna be Tessus. Not enough this time. I mentioned Alex. One of the new mechanics as well in Source 2 rather is that when you step, you have a little visual cue on your own radar of how far that sound went. And I guarantee you, it gets in your own head. I was playing, watching it thinking, oh my god, can you really hear me so far?
You saw in the chat as well, Snappy not happy to feel the wrath of the Harry D.
It's gonna help kind of get an idea.
Start here. It is just Desert Eagles, D250s into these M4s.
This is just classic Dust 2 aggression, mate. But look who is all the way down suicide. Fame's running it down. He's gonna make himself famous. Canadian with the Glock. Oh no!
It's gonna help me a lot, I think.
They don't respect him right now. There's no respect for the T side. 130 he was on.
It's quite.
And he's already behind the game. Fame has boxed him.
God. Oh, Tessus has actually saved him. And D has trapped in the pit. Crad could be getting a bit hot and bothered. That sound like a little snake just biting your heels.
Wow. Can this Anaconda still strangle around out because there's been nothing on the T side? Yeah, and Cadian, well, he's been completely removed from the equation. Shalfie on the rotate. Man's got the hot rod. Will it be a hot-handed play? It's the first. Goodbye, nerds.
See the little edge of the smoke there. It's much easier to force with bullets. On the very edge, that's the visibility. Gets the first, looking for more. Didn't catch a glimpse of him with the shot through the smoke. Dia plays the fade, but a snappy one out of Tessus. quad kill from the Dane, and he gets them on the board.
A whole lot about the smokes at the end of this very round, Alex. So many moments that were key. You mentioned it. The edge of it. We know in Counter-Strike, famously, players will try to play with the edge and grab a little bit of information, but if you catch a bullet, it creates this immediate hole, which you are revealed, and then at the end, Tez has played it perfectly as well. He was even looking for information in the 1v1, tapped a couple of bullets just to make sure, hey, hold on a second, are you here? And then he grabs that clutch. Beautiful.
It's a really cool tidbit to look at. And we'll see more of those glimpses of the new ways that Source 2 affects this beautiful game. Already here, though, we're down to a 4 versus 4, and they've actually got out of long this time.
Fame the AWPer. Oh, double AWP in the mix. There's a scout on the T side as well. Who's going to be crossing over first? That's a missed shot. Cadian's let it go, but Harry, fortunately, does deliver the trade. Go on, Harry.
Paper walls.
Does he get across the Fame AWP, though?
They have a smoke. They should use a smoke.
Where is it?
Be able to take the duels. Oh, never mind, actually.
They don't need a smoke.
You have headshots.
Yeah, this double AWPs. They have to hit the shot. That does help. And now they're just getting AKV AWP'd. Any more for Fame? I don't think so. They might just have to run away. Raiders save, and no, denied. Nuts. That was a fantastic job. I'm seeing a couple of AWP misses at the moment. I saw a discussion starting. I think the AWP feels really good, actually. Just personally, running around, it does feel like everything kits.
The shots feeling is true and it's powerful.
Yeah, the traces as well.
Yes, I do have an issue with, and I think it was Chad who mentioned it on the couch here, is the fact that you cannot automatically switch to the secondary zoom while just having the key pressed. That doesn't bother me a little bit.
It was like they did. I think it kind of might have been a mistake or a bug from their fixes.
Well, there we have it. That's the moment. That's what I'm talking about. The information in the smoke, and he grabs the kill. Welcome to Source 2.
Welcome to Source 2, indeed. Nerds has handled the aggression from Fame. I mean, he's been behind them every round, so good to see some housekeeping. Nerds is already into B, but you can see the bomb's still hanging out long. Damn, this new minimap is clean. I'm only just starting to process how easy it is to just look at those.
It's actually quite interesting just how quick your brain starts to adjust to it, right? Because it's like, obviously we've had CSGO for so long, but this is really sort of one of those where after a few minutes of looking at it, you're like, oh, okay, I'm in, I'm dialed in.
Absolutely, and for the players out there, I guarantee you it's going to take a little bit of while to get used to the new HUD, which means the HP is quite centered compared to the far left, and I think players that have had hundreds of hours, thousands of hours, we've been so used to visually just have a quick glance, see the color, know, okay, I'm 30 HP, I'm 20 HP, I have 80. I find myself in some of these games having no idea whether or not I've been tagged, no idea if I'm HP or not, so they're going to have to get used to this. Well, fortunately, Kaden doesn't have to ask the question because an AWP shot in the head, minus a million HP.
Minus a million. And who's holding this one? No one is, actually. So they go for a short stack or they flank in? Yeah, up short. Getting across. Everyone just wants a duel. Like, everyone's just hungry for some frags, and it is going to be stolen away by Krad Khalil. Nade on the nose. See you later, nerd.
Oh, Harry's getting into it as well. You can see the little smirk. He's starting to feel himself. He's had his one dig. He's had his rifle shot. He's starting to warm up.
Oh, here we go. Yeah. I mean, I will also specify, there is no observer HUD yet. Like, you're straight up seeing, this is like...
pretty raw.
This is us being in the game as a spectator, right? This is if you've joined a DM and you haven't joined a team yet. We don't have the overlay HUD that you've grown to expect from Go. So don't get too upset just yet. Charging in. There's only one man here and exists. He did some damage, but from behind, the long push good. Go on, Harry Russell.
Little bat.
Is he ready for this though? Oh, yes, he is. Harry onto Shelfie. He's dead now, right? He's not going to hit the 180 turn. Oh,
no way, no way.
Oh,
no way.
Own 3 professional counter-strikers. And there's only one more. Go on, Harry. Go on, son. Can't finish the job. Grad can. 5 in the bank, and he's feeling himself.
There we go.
This is what his peak performance looks like, whether you like it or not.
Yeah, this is a bit of a turnaround as well. You can see Cadian had his nose to the monitor, but it's Harry that closes.
He's never going to let us forget that. That moment is now engraved in his memory.
Yeah. Right, being ready for the third, man. Being ready for the third, he gets extra brownie points for sure. Also, with the addition of legs, kicking the football is a lot more satisfying now.
It does look really good.
Yeah, you actually do take a proper kick.
You see it get punted. It is beautiful to watch. But who will get booted out of the server here as it's a 5-3 split here on the first half of Dust 2.
These new smokes as well, you can cover the whole of double doors. Nice one. Cadian starting to rack him up on the AWP. There is still a potential threat from Snappy's scout. And there is the pistol starting to farm up. It's the 5-7. Look at the damage Harry takes as well. Tessus and him low. And running out of bullets. Nerds does need to fall off for the reload. They're going to get the plant down, but this feels like a retake that's very much on. Nice shot back. Still 2 players for the CT side. Coming on in. Oh dear. Oh dear, Remy. It all falls to Nerds. Can he clutch up? Nerds the AWPer. Doesn't hit the flick, and it's a great recovery with just pistols.
That was a great 2v3. You could see how Nerds had to deal with what I like to call the dolphin peak, which is basically jumping an angle, just showing a shoulder coming back, and you're trying to figure out, what up? And they let that one go. We see very stern conversations now. Obviously in the T-Cam, I think they realize the gravity of what just happened, of course, 2v3 in that key moment. Now by the wayside.
But they had the smokes. It's so interesting to me to see. You can see that it's just so apparent or equal. Oh my god, they're just rushing. D has already lost a lot of health. D90 doesn't get crowd very far, but D should be dead. Harry deals with the flank, and Cadian as well on the cross. Hello, this is a B take that should be taking shape.
Someone in that T team has a smoke from spawn to the doors of B. I've seen it twice now. I see a smoke immediately land towards the door. Was that the smoke that Trace was talking about?
Yeah.
Then I revealed something.
I saw Rush actually, he tweeted it, or rather ESL tweeted his smoke
that Trace was talking about.
Yeah.
Then I revealed something.
I saw Rush actually.
The doors of B. I've seen it twice now. I see a smoke immediately land a smoke from spawn to the doors of B. I've seen it twice now. I see a smoke immediately land towards the door. Was that the smoke that Trace was talking about?
Yeah.
Then I revealed something.
I saw Rush actually, he tweeted it, or rather ESL tweeted his smoke. He's learned one from all the way back, like T-spawn to the B doors. But and that's something I wanted to ask you, Matthew. Do you think that the removal of skyboxes is gonna need to be like watched with a magnifying glass? Because do you remember Inferno before we added skyboxes? Do you remember like from long just re-smoking deep banana 5 times from long side?
I mean, at the time, yeah, we didn't have the smoke dropping or the grenade dropping mechanism, which now we have.
Yes.
So it's a whole new bargain, it's a whole new recipe. But in the end, yes, I think that any professional team now will have to have probably a person dedicated to think through this new mechanism. Now there's no skybox anymore. It was even mentioned at the sofa as well. Some maps use the skybox to bounce back Molotovs.
Yes.
Inferno is a good example. On the B side, you do have your molly C1, C2, C3 against the wall. You can't do that anymore if there aren't any skyboxes. So I like any change that forces everybody to just rethink a situation. The cards have been shuffled. What we knew isn't true anymore. We have to rethink and we have to find our way through it. This is something I like.
Here we go. This is ballsy from Tessus. He's a dead man on the push out the doors. Molly stops the potential trade. He's naded the smoke. Nothing to report. From my head count, it seems like about 3.5 seconds of like before the smoke is back.
It's interesting as well because you have to get that placement is made absolutely spot on.
Yeah.
Like it's harder than it looks already.
Yeah, multiple times I've removed half of the smoke. You know, like in B tons does too, because it fills the length of the tunnel. Nice find. It's a 4-on-4 full gun round.
Just a battle of attrition with utilities everywhere.
There's still a HE in play. we might get to see one.
We'll keep an eye on these grenades. We have to.
So I'm just trying to work out how to read this HUD. I'm getting there.
Oh, you're further than I am. Keep up how many numbers I like.
Who I'm looking at, yeah.
Crowd removed by Snappy with a great little off angle. Now, Harry, my friend, it's time for you to make your move. Your teammates have been blocked, they've been stomped. You have to put some pressure. He does so with the smoke, but Snappy's doing a fantastic job towards mid, and that's going to be a triple for the Danish IGL, leaving Harry in the clutch.
Harry 1 versus 4. Up against it all. He could have the first. I think. Oh, the step. Oh, Harry Russell's in trouble. And should go down here. They're teasing him. It's a USP to finish that one little extra step. That was something Cadian brought up that I want to pay closer attention to, especially when we get back into the server ourselves. Is Yeah, I mean, that spray
Best crowd being eliminated. The two trades coming in.
The multi-kill here. Oh, no! Too long. He waited way too long.
Harry uses the mechanism for him.
Yeah, I mean, that spray completely different if he didn't have the vision. From behind, good timing. Nerd should have a multi-kill here. Oh! Too long. He waited way too long. 2 versus 3 now. The T's do get the bomb down, but they're going to be very thick and fast through the door, through the gate. 1 versus 3 for Cadian. He does like a clutch, does Cadian, and he's doing it right here live. Underhands the flashes, just trying to delay. Smoke to peek around. Will molly him forward. He throws one back. Look at this. He's missed the molly. He's going to assume. Oh Cadian not going to be happy with that one.
Damn.
Yeah, no, he's really not. He's really not happy.
Oh, the desk slam into the double fist bump.
I love the contrast. Cadian is so mad, and Harry's just happy to be here.
He's just
like,
so
come on,
happy,
man, that was awesome. Just,
dude.
you know, moving on.
I mean, he did
could have had it.
And then I think the molly just a little flat. You can see that new indicator for where the molly burned. It's very apparent. I don't know why I find it a Schadenfreude, I believe is the German word for that. I'm just laughing at his misfortune.
This is an awfully serious show.
I mean,
actual map control.
It is, and I understand why. I mean, everyone's just excited to see how it feels in comparison to something they've repeated thousands of times.
Beautiful
this is the cleanest CT round so far.
And as we see, Crad attempting this one before the pawn I was trying to make fun of is that you used to be safe with a smoke in front of you, right? Barring some kind of spray with a silencer, you used to be safe, and I think it was a peaceful mind that you had. But now things are going to change. Excuse me. This thing is going to change now because now things are going to silencer. You used to be safe, and I think it was a peaceful mind that you had. But now things are going to change.
Oh, that was such a nasty shot.
A peaceful mind that you
had.
Now things are going to change.
Shot.
This thing is going to change now because you kind of have to imagine the smoke as a potential threat, and you have to be ready because when you hear the grenade, if you're not ready, that's it. Someone's taking a journey, in your own mind, or you can be losing out a little bit. Now you have to be ready. No smoke will ever really protect you.
You know how big of a part of like competitive tier 1 Counter-Strike is in like just feigning map control as well. Like, you know, overpass. If you haven't shown anything long, then you will get abused and over-rotated and gambled upon. So now imagine like nading smokes to feign.
Yes.
You know, it goes everywhere.
I think that's what's going to happen. Eventually, I think the CTs will time the usage of their grenades to make sure that is there someone behind that smoke? Right. Are they lurking on banana and overpass? Are there people behind the monster smoke? Let me just use a grenade and make sure that I see what's happening. And I think the grenade is about to have such a much more influential role in Counter-Strike.
Who was that? Yeah, I mean, the one thing that we talked about as well on the couch was the spray. Like, there is a very universally shared opinion that there's something more difficult / different in the full commitment to the spray.
Yeah.
But you know, we've seen the side-by-side comparisons. The spray control, like the pattern is identical. There's no question.
So why does it feel different?
Different?
I agree with you.
And I'll tell you why, Matthew. I think it's crazy because we don't appreciate.
That is the one. That is the one I was talking about.
Thank you, Harry Russell.
Or smoke.
And this is a quick trade from Tessus. Rifle in hand. Snappy only gets 1. Reaction util's good. Like, this is serious business now. Look, watch this. Fame's got an AUG. Smoke is good. He still has a HE if he fancies his chances. Missed smoke from Harry. And good shots from Fame. Oh dear. 3 spraying him down and a click to finish.
Lovely comeback, gentlemen.
Chad Burford with some good kind words.
Yeah, that was cute.
We do have, as you can tell, we have a microphone roughly in the player vicinity. I don't know how well we can hear them, but maybe we can try and do like a listen-in, quasi-listen-in if the players are having fun for this one. Last round of the half.
Wow.
Go for the pistol round. Pistol's a good shout. Yeah, let's see if we can get that going. Let's see if we can listen in, as it were.
push on. Give me the position.
What the fuck? What's making it do that?
2 mid track. One CT. Watch out. Get 2 mid. Search mid. He didn't push it. That's fine. Wait, almost mid. One mid also.
There's gonna be a whole lot of emotion.
Like, in your bang, you know, you just feel it. You get put to rest, and yeah, some of that is a little bit still in the realms of needing improvement. We have just lost the server. If anyone just joined us and is wondering what's going on here, gonna be getting that one. I would assume booted back up.
I mean, beyond the emotional side of obviously the sound system that we have in the game, which I completely agree with, I think it's truly important. Professional players at the highest level listen to every single sound and they compute something out of it without even thinking. They know how much damage have they sustained, how much damage have they done to someone else, did they hit someone in the smoke, did they grab maybe a feet as they were spraying. All of these information has to be kind of integrated, and now we're kind of step 0 or step 1 because you're still finding out like what happened, how many have I hit, how many have I heard. It is one of the issue. Let's say one of the areas of improvement I like to see on that beta as well is I find myself second guessing the sounds that I hear. You know, whereas in Counter-Strike usually you're able to say for sure he is to my left, he's 10 meters up or down, behind that box. Sometimes in Source 2 for now I'm still kind of finding, have I really heard it? Is it really behind me? Yeah. And we have to get to that point where we implicitly believe.
As opposed to, because it's new. It's like a brand new input, and so you don't have that immediate react. So it is the first to 4 and the first to 7, respectively, for the T side. They need 4. For the CT side, they need 7.
Fair enough. We have the numbers, ladies and gentlemen. 4 and 7 in order to put that one to bed.
This is the most orbs we've seen by far. We have 4 orbs in the server for this round, so we'll actually get a chance to watch the new green gun do some damage.
It's Harry versus Shalfie. Not expecting this positioning. I don't. Oh, he is. Maybe Harry. Oh, spots him. Covered by Nerds, and it's a 1-for-1.
It was very good cover by Nerds. Harry had the position, but wasn't even needed at the end. Cadian's gonna be looking for information, as Cadian does.
You can see the staggered feet there on the Nerd stance. Models much more indicative of your actual positioning.
Cadian, he's waiting with the scope now. The lightning strike. Will it strike twice in the same place, and can it hit them right in the face as they're getting ready to go for the bombardment out onto A? Smoke down. Nerds walking up as well. So both of these snipers in position, jumping up over the top of the smoke. It's Harry with the first. The AK slays. Cadian's gone down. Nerds has the battle back. He's right on the ramp, but it'll hit it.
Quick correction, for the CT side, I think I said 7. It's actually 10.
They are looking for 10.
They need 10. Whoa. Yeah, well, it was a
long road ahead.
Stompy first half.
Damn. But we're still looking for 4 for the T side. We're sticking with that number.
We are. So 10 and 4 are the magic numbers.
Was it? Damn. What?
When as we proceed on the utility conversation, I think the better visibility through Molotovs is something that I appreciate a whole lot. I was not a big fan of the smoke being in front of you with the flames, having no idea what the hell is going on, and some side can see, some other don't, depending on where you are in the map. Just get rid of all of that. It isn't skill based. I don't like it at all. I like that you can see through much better, and now it can't be really used as a wall as it was in Counter-Strike Go Ahead.
Get to see the Krieg in action. I haven't bought it myself. Let's see how it feels. Cadian, well, he doesn't let us get a single look. Nice from Shalfie. Ooh, spotted on the single. What do we call it? It's not a single. Oh, it's a.
We're gonna have to come up with.
We're gonna have to come up with a word. That's for sure.
The creatives out there, the poets of the world,
please
need it.
Oh, Snappy's got this round in the bag, lads. Harry, the smoke's out. Dead to Snappy. Bomb ticking 2-on-2. Hard shots to hit, but Exist delivers the first, and now a 1-on-1. Snappy v Nerd. He's going for a little cheeky face. Good Molotov to force him off the bomb. Has to respect it. Snappy making sure his lineup still work. Nerd's options really limited, and with the kit picked up, a Molotov and a hole. Yeah, Snappy, what you got? What you got? Snappy? Snappy! Oh!
Very close. Very close.
Who wants to call who won that round? I'll leave you guys. I'll leave you guys to it.
Jackie.
Who won that round? You have 3.
I think you got it.
I think he got the defuse. I'd say that was the defuse.
I had it out too.
He did get the defuse.
He got the defuse. Thank you, Rush.
Yeah, because you have to make sense of that.
Yeah. What is this? S1 wins the round.
Symbolic messages being sent from another world to you. Like,
What is this? S1 wins the round.
Symbolic messages being sent from another world to you.
Yeah. He got the defuse. Thank you, Rush.
Yeah, because you have that too.
He did get the defuse.
He got the defuse. Thank you, Rush.
Yeah, because you have to make sense of that.
Yeah.
What is this? S1 wins the round.
Symbolic messages being sent from another world to you. Like,
Wait, they
I was
what?
just trying to do it off the audio because I was like, my eyes are not quite sure what they're seeing.
Yeah.
My brain tells me it was the defuse.
Da Vinci Code in here, trying to understand what's going
Wow,
on.
that was a close one.
KD's taking the AWP lower, and there's 5 Ts there. This could be a fast AWP flank. What do you reckon, man? They're out. Oh! Harry, not anymore where that came from. Yes, he does. Significant damage on the bang.
Thanks, here.
Slowing. Harry, ballsy, pushing, fragging. Harry Russell in the server. He's taken them all down. A triple, making a triple. It's a triple. Crad steals it from him, but he's feeling himself there. The
Nice.
rush defense.
Nice.
Flashes had that invincible, man. I just kept going back in. They can't stop me.
Can I get off him?
Yeah, I got you, bro.
Oh, there you go. He says it for himself, doesn't he?
This is what pure happiness looks like. Dopamine level through the roof.
Let's go.
So we can track now 3 rounds out of the 10 that the CTs were needing. We're making our way. In fact, 30% some would say. Quick math.
Yeah, believe it or not, Match Medic wasn't the first thing they were working on when developing a brand new port. Counter-Strike. Katie this time pulls off the aggression from the drop torp. Thank you very much, Harry. Oh, sheesh, that green knife really shining.
The lighting on that. My
yeah.
God. Look at it.
Go stand in the sun, D. Stop trying to win. Oh, nice shots. Covered by Fame. Can the CT find 4 in a row?
Yeah, the trades
He's
are
trying to solo
ridiculous.
He's committed to the position. So from that point on, you just do not move. You do not move and you accept that. They don't know where I am. First, he's going to be unsuspecting. Oh, nice. Your grenade. Don't take your grenade. You do this.
It's all gone a little bit wrong. Harry definitely having his jimmies rustled on that one, but Nert's getting naughty again with the scope, and it's all up to Fame. And the 1v2 tapping through. He's being pushed though. Is he aware? Clears the side of the smoke. He drops down, hits the head. Hello.
He's got it. He's got it. And Nerds finishes it actually with the Molotov, no less. They continue their run. Finishes it.
Smokey drops down, hits the head. Hello.
He's got it. He's got it. And Nerds finishes.
The Smokey drops down, hits the head. Hello.
He's got it. He's got it. And Nerds finishes it actually with
down, hits the head. Hello.
He's got it. He's got it.
Is he aware? Clears the side of the Smokey, drops down, hits the head. Hello.
He's got it.
Is he aware? Clears the side of the Smokey, drops down, hits the head. Hello.
He's got it. He's got it.
Oh!
And clears the side of the Smokey, drops down, hits the head. Hello.
He's got it. He's got it.
1G?
What? Smokey drops down, hits the head. Hello.
How does this happen?
He's got it.
Is he aware? Clears the side of the Smokey, drops
He's
down,
got 10
hits the head.
HP.
Hello.
He's got it. He's got it.
1G!
And Nerds
1G!
finishes it actually with the
1G,
Molotov,
bro!
no less. They continue their run. Happy with that one. Nerds going to be smiling ear to ear. And you can see the crowd is here nice and early as well. Much love to you for coming over to check out the show match. Of course, we do have a grand final to look forward to as well. FaZe versus Cloud
on Go actually this time. Won't be playing on CS2.
Damn, he lost that. He didn't have to lose that. He won that.
Quite literally, we're going to be seeing how that one plays out later on today. But the players taking time out of their day to come join us. Have a little look at how things are feeling, and it feels great for Nerds on this AWP right now. Look at that. What is that weapon, D-Hut? Just crab walking across.
Oh, this is where a grenade would be marvelous. Look at this. This is exactly what I'm talking about. He can move.
Yes! That's what we're talking about. We can get some more. They actually nade back. Triple out of nerds.
The smokes won't cover you anymore.
You're not safe.
That was a nasty nade.
Cadian again. Back today. He's playing right on the lip of it. He's hit the shot as well, and Testis is just in the rear. It's easy pickings. I mean, they've gone on a tear since the half.
So, recapping the score. What did
Thank
we
you
say?
very much.
What did
You
we
said
say?
we needed 10. They're halfway through. They have 5 out of the 10 they needed.
I didn't even see
They're
that,
halfway
dude.
through.
What
they have
the
5
fuck?
out of the 10 they needed.
Man.
There's no way.
Which
What?
means there's gonna be a whole lot of a whole lot of emotions, and I think people will do the best they can to abuse on CS2. Won't cover you.
Back today.
Out of the 10 they needed.
Man.
Nice shot.
Which leads me to believe that
That was such a weird
see the
shot.
flash in the
No way.
smoke?
What the fuck?
that was a very
It was
fancy
behind
effect.
the
It
door.
illuminated the whole
I didn't
smoke.
see
Almost
that.
like a night in the club.
It was just
Yeah,
the
like,
like
wow,
reflex.
that was cool, man.
Well, that's certainly
That's
groovy.
everything.
So it's a 4-on-4. Bomb yet to be committed. We got Cadian responsible for this mid-fight.
Whole lot of patience. The game
They got
comes to an
nades.
end.
Here they
still.
come. Flashes out. Cadian still wants to fight. Delivers. On to exist. No tray.
Ooh, that would have been a collateral if he got the shot off.
That's pushed up long. Get does catch one at the tail end of it, but they're coming into B. Nerds gonna be sticking out and still hits the shot. Nerds on for another multi-kill round on this all. The flash is in support, but he can't hit the shot now. It's a 2-on-1. Could be a cutaway.
Oh!
Does it good? Does it strong? That is a clutch up.
Nerds have done everything right.
He did everything, and let's not forget, it was like both of the orbs hitting everything. Still not enough.
He got his first kill, then he waited for a flash. A teammate actually flashed for him. He waited for that. Then he peeked after the flash, couldn't convert the shot, and then a very much chivalrous retake from the 2 left CTs, but not meant to be.
There is just something that looks so crisp about watching this new AWP as well. Some of these shots just look so damn deadly. Hey, we got the score count now as well. There you go.
Appreciate it. A little bit of aggression. I don't think it's being held right now. I think he might have just done it. Oh, nice bit on the turnaround.
Oh, that's gonna be so much easier with guns like this. I like that option. I really do. I think that's gonna be a game changer for a lot of people. Like it doesn't bother me right now, but it just seems like that's gonna help tremendously for newer players, and then people like me that already sort of know the recoil pattern, but need a more visual cue of whether I'm getting it right or not. Because, yeah, I mean, yeah, Like, I personally just need the cue. I need to know that I'm doing it right, and then it'll just help me solidify what I'm doing. It's sort of like Valorant's, the way that Valorant, when you zoom in, Valorant. Valorant's recoil control is a lot like that.
Spike down A.
I think they're gonna come peek me.
When you're scoped in. So when you're aiming down sights on Valorant's guns.
Hi everyone. Today I want to teach you how to control your
It's like
recoil
that.
properly and make sure you get the right sprays. It can take some practice to get the hang of it.
See, so when you're not
with a
aiming
bit
down
of
sight,
patience and the right techniques,
you have to.
you
It's a
can
lot like
improve your recoil
CS
control and take your
recoil control,
gameplay
but
to
when
the
you
next
aim down
level.
sight,
In this
it-
guide, I'll be
it
sharing
follows
some
the-
tips and tricks to
the-
help you master recoil control. So, let's get started.
And personally, I prefer the ADS version. I like to, like, sometimes I aim down sight in Valorant just because it's easier for me to get that recoil control. Even though it's sometimes that's the main reason why I end up getting killed. And it's just being able to have that while you're not aiming down sight is going to be a huge help. Same thing with when you're aiming down sight with an AUG or the SG. The recoil does not follow the crosshair, so it can be a little difficult at times. Well, not even difficult, just disorienting, because I follow the crosshair, so it's just a little disorienting is all. Throws me off.
Dead. Fame, the 100 ADR warrior. Harry, the 89. He's keeping up.
Shabby.
He's keeping up with the big boys.
One of the new information as well that we have on the HUD is total damage.
Yeah, I like
that is
that.
quite interesting. I feel like, obviously, with the ADR, we had some kind of an indication, but I think with the total damage, it's going to speak to people much clearer.
Agreed.
This man has 5,000 damage. He has 3,000 damage. You feel the difference immediately.
Yeah, 100%. Averaging it out, just, at the start of the game, ADR means nothing. Whereas seeing the total damage always means something. Oh, that could have been two. Crowd a good spray on that M4, but still two alive. Shelfie trying to make some magic happen, and he has connected onto Harry. Could find more as well. Not in a rush. Worried about that long push. Elevator's just pushed up and tugged. Very low HP on Crad. Bomb's on car still, so they're going to let him look. He's going to find Elevator.
He's going to look for him.
He should have him.
He's got him booked.
Free. Hawk. Oh, dead man. That was the bomb as well. Shalfie's lost it. A 1v2 situation with very little time. D has to basically knife out here. The Orb's holding the perfect line. Both of them are. Oh, go on, D. Hit it. Hit the cracker. Oh, that's naughty. He's not even broken a smile or a sweat, but that was cheeky.
That was
He's
really
like,
sick,
that was
man.
easy.
God,
Easy.
we're seeing all the little mechanics, all the little gimmicks. We're seeing like some sick plays as well.
And people just flirting with the edge of smokes. I think we're gonna see a whole lot of that in the first few games because people have to figure out how much maneuvering room they have around smokes. Can I take a risk? How much do you see me? Is it to my advantage? Is it to yours? We see so many AWPs punishing rifles, being a little curious, a little cheeky, peeking left, right of a smoke, and people will have to figure that out for themselves. And that's why we played as Brazilian matchmakings before, because we need to have an idea of that.
Inside on 14, Diha has delivered their 14th. Can he make it? 15. Drops the util. Okay, he's going to get a barrage. Look at that double Molotov. Burning quickly down to half health. Well, they got the long commit. We're going to get a little throwback to the old Na'Vi takes here. Oh, no, we're not. It's just going to be straight bullets. Diha deals with another. Dink. Good on the top of the car. It's damage, but Diha's doing a lot for the boys. Harry Russell. To come up, clutchy repositions for the mid push. He has the bullets, has the frag, has the awareness. Carry, can you go 1v3? Underhand nade. Chip away. Going for the jump shot, gotta respect it. Low HP on the other as well. Zist backing away long side. Harry playing the fade, snaps onto the head. Harry!
Wow. This guy's on fire today.
Someone side this man immediately.
Oh, he's the missing link. Get him off the casting desk. Get him on the grand final stage.
Hugo, just let him go. Just let him go, Hugo. He's got a career.
Okay. Okay. It's a little late for that one.
Oh man, that's
it's a little.
He was so ready.
He thought about that one. He's like, should I? Yeah, why not?
He's the fake brilliantly.
It's a little cringe.
Going wide goose. And look at this, look at the reaction. Harry's having the time of his life. I'm so happy to be bearing witness to this.
Why do you push him like that? That's not a, I guess, I get it.
Harry said in the chat.
Well, he's got him up to 12. I thought they'd done enough there. Diha thought he'd done enough, but Harry, he's closed the gap. We've got a real competitive one at 12 to 14. Nailed onto Diha.
Chunk of damage done. Oh, and Diha finally downed as well. He's been a demon on the server, so removing him from the equation could be just what the doctor ordered for Team Harry.
Everybody hitting the brakes now. It's very methodical.
It got serious now.
It's
Harry just clutched against us. I'm mad. Let's see how they can
This is how high level Counter-Strike is actually being played. It's a 5v4. You step down a little bit. You slow down. You make sure no one pushes. Crowd is doing just so, and you punish him exactly by the book, ladies and gentlemen. Counter-Strike 101. You have the numbers. You have the patience, and you punish.
Harry's back in the feed, lads. Gets himself another. What's that about? Oh, the molly on the side of the smoke. Some team damage, but they're across. 2v3, significant damage down to both sides. This is playing this Gandalf position, should be able to get away with it a lot. I mean, it's just a question of damage. They do. Mollied him out, burned him down, still takes one with him. And it is another round for the CTs. They are closing this gap quick.
I can only get one. I always get caught, like it's hard to get away, I feel like, without...
Yeah, but like escaping, like when you get tagged?
Yes.
So it's down.
Like, after you shoot, you're slowed down.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Interesting.
I don't like, I get one and die every time.
I keep saying it, like...
Because it's like, honestly, listening to what the pros are going to... Their natural reaction when their intuition isn't met, or like their expectation isn't met, that's like worth its weight in gold. That's the kind of feedback that, you know, some people won't be able to perceive, but it's just through the, 10,000 hours that they've been setting these unspoken expectations of the game. And it's that velocity, I guess, when you fire that shot, it used to be...
Damn, they're dominating right now. Holy shit, 7-2.
You can go.
The aggression, the full-on aggression's gone. It's going to be very legit for us, boys. As well, and just like that 4-1 trade.
This is going to be another round for the CT side. We're going to tie this. Is going to be a tied-up game.
Now I'm going to ask the forbidden question, Alex. What happens if we get to 15? Can we really let the first CS2 match end on a draw?
Absolutely not. We're going to have to work it out. Either it's a one-on-one choose your champion.
Kind of like that idea.
I like that one.
I like that idea. You put Harry, of course. We're going to nominate him
for sure. They have to nominate their champion. And it's, you can choose your weapon. Choose your champion. This is a very dead boy. Can we get the first knife kill? Oh, denied! Exist will go down swinging. Not today, he says. Not today. It's nice to see the referee's enjoyed himself. Normally he has to have a real stone serious face, but it's nice to see the boys having fun. Where are we at then? I'm gonna see this one again.
14-14. I'm gonna wait until they make a unilateral call. We'll see the little pop-up with the scoreline on top right of our screen in a few seconds.
Tessa's reaction to a failed knife.
We've all been there.
Yeah. There it is.
Got it.
14 apiece. Xbox smoke from Fame.
Harry tries some aggression, but Nuts has been doing this all the time.
And 2 spotted on the cross. What a tap out of Exist. Handles the first. He wants more. Oh, Exist! Master of the Beast site. He's got it all done. Now Harry up against them all. And no bullets. Nice handling from Shalfie. Cadian there to right.
What a round.
15 in the bank. Just when we thought the CTs were onto their winning ways. So the T's find themselves back in the mix. Team 27015 with match point.
What a way to win round 15. Straight bullets catching to the dome. Exist rolling back the years quite literally with that double entry.
Oh man, that's pretty good though. The CTs were dominating. They might come back. The other team might come back on their CT side, but I don't give a shit anymore. What's going on with Unreal Engine? There's the Unreal editor for Fortnite. That could be fun. Okay.
Your attention, please. This is a state emergency announcement. The Rotor Laboratory, on behalf of the government, assures that none of the bacteriological attacks will harm citizens' health. I quote, "There are no risks of any kind. You are safe in your house. Not attempt leaving the city using transportation services." Food resupply is allowed once a week for each citizen. Please use the dedicated smartphone app to register yourself and check stocks. You can proceed to go to work, school, and shops around your block. It is crucial to have your ID card with you at all times in case of control. For safety reasons, the Army has deployed autonomous civilian security robots. They are here to protect you.
I'm still confused on what type of game this is, like DayZ or what? It's cool that it's being made on Unreal Engine though. Okay, this is pretty cool. All right. The Unreal Engine smoke is not my favorite. I like the Source 2 smoke better. The Molotov and grenade look good in Unreal. Okay, that's pretty cool. So, like, all in all, the Unreal one did look better. It just looked better. I'm not a fan of the smoke in Unreal, but
Hello guys, and welcome to the Unreal Engine on the desktop. In here we're going to click on the Games tab and select third person template.
Homie has
First of all, make sure you
an
obviously
infinite
have
number of projects.
access. Launch right here, the Games tab. You can go ahead and launch from the desktop. In here,
What is this, dude? What is this? Oh my god. Why? Why do you have so many? I got one. I have one game I'm working on. That's it. Just one game.
we're going to
I guess this one's that's not exactly a game. That's a prefab. That's like from the library that you
click on
have.
the Games tab.
So I
and
guess some of them
select third
probably
person
aren't actually
template.
games.
And we're going to make sure this is obviously Blueprint, and we're going to make sure we include starter content. And then we can name this Blueprint Beginner.
If he's making all those games with starter content, oh my god, they're like several gigs each.
Great.
That is not.
Okay, so first I want to explain what is Blueprint. Blueprint is the visual scripting system of Unreal Engine. It can be used to create really anything, for example, cars, weapons, gameplay mechanics, user interface, AI. Have here, this is a really Blueprint class. And click on this character. Content folder. So this is we just saw built in that class. Dock it here at the top. Default Blueprint WASD. Left clicking. You can see in our camera rotating, so we can scale our character by pressing R. Scale up and down. Move our character around, and then we can also click E to rotate our character. And so we can adjust. We can also a list of these components, and it's also made up of Blueprint nodes. Components can be physical objects like this, where we have an arrow component, so we know which way is going forward on that, you can see our character walk around, run, and jump. Then we have our camera boom, which tells us where the camera should rotate around the character, at what length.
So, I don't know why I never noticed this, but by default, the collision is this capsule. It's not even the player model.
And at what rotation point. Then we have the actual camera that we can see our character through. Then below that we have our character movement component, which tells us how to move our character around our game. And you might have noticed that when I select on different components, we have this little details window, or we have our character scale. And so is basically telling us to do some sort of logic. For example, this jump right here, character press start, and then when we go back to my event, then, and we're going to name this, if we compile, go ahead and create it. We can open that up. Blueprint have on character or separate to control prance sort of stuff. We're just going an actor, so underscore door underscore to other, and you can be underscore door to open.
So you named it VP for Blueprint.
Mesh. A skeletal mesh is like our character mesh. Our static mesh, which is an object that is static, it doesn't move or doesn't do anything. In your project, not to worry, you can open by hitting W to move, and then we're going to select this on the Y-axis and move it over like so. You can see here it's not lining up the best, and we can't seem to get it perfect. So what we want to do is change our grid snapping value. Hit that little tab right there. Set this to 1, and this is going to give us more control over our snapping.
You should have tried it at 5 to see if you get it
so
closer.
That looks a little bit better. We can go ahead and compile, save that. Now we have our little door here in our door frame. And if we click E, we can rotate our door on the Z axis right here. Okay, Control Z to undo, obviously.
That's assuming your door has the right.
Now, what we want to do here is we want to allow our character to open and close the door. So what we can do is add a collision box, or a box collision. And so when our character runs into this box collision, we can give them the ability to open and close this door. Let's go ahead and click R to scale this box. If we hit the little cube in the middle, we can scale the entire thing. If we just select the Z axis or the X axis, we can scale only in those directions. Okay, and we hit W to move this up. Scale this up a little bit. Maybe make it just a little bit wider like so. Compile, save that. So now that we have our components set up, let's add the blueprint nodes in our event graph. So what we need to do is go to our event graph. You can see here it's automatically given us these events, or event begin play, event begin overlap, and event tick. These are all grayed out, but you can still use them by just dragging off and doing like a print string. You can see the gray goes away because you're using them. Okay, we are not going to actually use any of these, so we can go ahead and delete. And then what we want to do is select our box collision, and in the details here we can scroll down all the way down till you see these events. To see what these events do, let's go ahead and move this little window right here by selecting that and moving that over. Now you can see here we have different events for different things. We have on component hit, and what we're interested in is this on component begin overlap. So when our character overlaps, we want to click this little plus button so we can add that event. So whenever something like a character overlaps in our viewport here, or our box is our character. So our character, what I want to do is check to see if the other actor is our character. So our character, if you remember, is our third person BP actor. and do a cast to third person character. And what the cast to third person character will do is it will check to see if the overlapped actor is a third person character.
That's weird.
And if
That's
so,
a weird
it will
word.
execute
Why
whatever
cast?
is farther off of here. And if not, it will fail like so. Alright, so off of our cast to third person character, we're going to do an enable input. And we're going to enable input for our character that is overlapped. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to get player controller, and we want to hook this up into the player controller here. And so we're going to check and see if it is a third person character that is overlapped. If so, we want to enable input for that character, for that character's controller. That way they can interact with the door. We also want to select our box and add an event and overlap. That way we can disable input. So we can do another cast to third person character. And then off of here we can drag and do disable input. And we can hook up the return value instead of player controller to the target. Compile, save that. Next up we have to add the actual key to open and close the door. So we can right click, type in E key. We're going to scroll up here till you find the E key. Click on that. So off of here we're going to do what's called a flip flop. And what a flip flop allows us to do is to do
This seems very
an A
like
or an B. So if we press it once, it's going to do the A, and then
Like
when
he
we press it
figured it
again,
out
it's
on his
going to do
own.
the B. So it automatically remembers which one you did last, and it cycles through A or B. Now off the A, what we want to do is we want to get the door,
It is a
still to
simple
mesh,
door though.
close, made entirely from Blueprint. See here, up to 5.9. That will smooth the value between hat pick at all times, like so. Is we want, if we drag our hat pickup into the game and hit play and press E, you can see here we have our hat on our character, but it's not on our character's head. Alright, so to attach it to our character's head, what we want to do is in our character class,
It's a very
we want to
weird
drag
way
off
of
of
doing
here
it.
and do
I'm not a fan of the collision box. That shit is just so weird because realistically, that's not how that works. You should be sending out a raycast from wherever your crosshair is pointing, and then when that raycast makes a collision with the object you're trying to pick up or interact with, then that's when the interaction should take place. So I don't like how he has this enabled. I don't know how you would send a raycast with blueprints, but that's how I would do it. I would just cast a ray from my crosshair, and the first item that it collides with, if it's interactable, then it does the interaction. Otherwise, it just does nothing. So then you will be in a situation where every time you hit E, you're just casting out a ray, and that ray is just always checking to see if it's colliding with an interactable object. And then you could probably even just have a variable over here, a variable called interactable, a global variable even.
Component to component. So what we want to do is take the hat map.
Let's see what this guy has to say.
What's up guys, welcome to new Unreal Engine 5 tutorial, and today I'm gonna show you all about blueprints. Alright, so the first thing that we played, blueprint, and that's it. Correct. About the edit, go ahead. And we can add some ready. Basic, it is okay. graphs and variables section. So first of all, on the bottom here you can see that we have a list of all the variables, which comes into a separate event graph. So if I were to create a new function, you will see that it opened a new tab and we have a new event graph with a new space, etc. So this is just to make things a bit more organized. So if you're gonna make a big chunk of code and nodes and stuff, instead of having all in this enormous event graph, you can just narrow it down into different sections by creating functions. So we can put all the code here, and then you can go ahead and call the new function that we have just created from here and when you play the game, etc. So it's a bit more organized.
Oh, I like that.
In that sense. But we're not gonna be using that right now. But you get the idea. Okay?
Yeah, I get
so
it.
Now that
he's essentially taking this whole box right here and turning it into a single function. So then you can just maybe not this whole box, but this part right here, just this part, the inside
I've kind of
the
covered
box.
a bit the base.
So like this, and then you would connect these two to the one function.
Basics of a blueprint itself and stuff. Let's start actually getting to know a bit the nodes and how they work and etc. So like you may know, of course, they go from left to right. So when they're plugged in, you can see this arrow pointing with that, where they will go. So the nodes will have some properties. First of all, the ones that are on the left over here is basically there are inputs. So for example, this is just casting to the player controller. So this is accessing the player controller, okay? So this requires an input. It is what player controller we want to go ahead, which is the object. So in our case, we are saying that, well, it is the controller itself, so we're plugging that into an input. Now it might make not a lot of sense. Now when we start experimenting, we'll start to make more sense, but you can see kind of how it works. And in the left side we'll have the inputs, and in the right side you can see that we have the outputs. So here this will give us the player controller itself, and now we're accessing to the inputs and adding the mapping, etc. So not all nodes will have, for example, an input and an output. It's just depending on what their task is and what their logic itself is, okay? So for example, if we go into a simple thing over here, we can say that we have a simple input action. So this is basically when we press the spacebar, okay? So when we press the spacebar, when it's triggered,
Hello guys, and welcome to the Unreal Engine variables. And in fact, if I create a variable here and we click on the variable type, you can see all the various variable types. Now there are actually these other variable types. We have enumerations here, object types, interfaces, and structures. And what we're going to be focusing on is enumerations and structures, as well as arrays in this video. So first of all, let's start with an enumeration. Go to your content browser, create a new folder, and we're going to name this _main, just so we can keep our, and to see the new enumeration in here. So we click this new button, and you're going to see the display name and the description. So really all that matters is the display name. So in this case, what we want to do is type in is walking, and then we'll create another one, and then type in here for the display name is flying, and then click new and type in is swimming, and finally our variables. So we can go ahead and create a new variable, name the, in here we're going to go over in type enumeration, and once we hit this compile and save button, it will let us set the default value. So this is basically what enumeration is. If you click this down button, you're going to see the options that we defined. We have the is walking, is flying, is swimming, or is sitting. So basically this is what an enumeration is. It's a list of options that the developer can define, and you could use this in pretty much any part of your game. Any part of your game that you want some sort of custom variable that allows you to have different options.
Like animations?
Alright, so this is great and all, but how exactly do we use this in our game?
With animations.
So we'll go ahead and show you how you can really quickly utilize this in your game. Okay, so what we'll do is right click and add a F key. So when we press F, what we want to do is drag, click on our test enum.
This is bad, by the way. You should never need to use a direct input like this. Unreal Engine has a way of like, so if you wanted to set the F key to do something, you can set it in your character.
Onto the graph, and we want to get character state enum just like that. And so what we can do is we can left click off of this node and type in switch on test enum. So you just type in switch and select this. And what you're going to see here is the different settings that we have. So first let's hook up the pressed execution pin to the switched on test enum. And what you're going to see here is basically when we press F, depending on what we've set our variable type here, depending on our character state enum, so you can see is walking. If it is
right, no, I get that. So basically what's going on here is you drag out from one of these settings
is walking,
and then based on whatever your value is currently, that's what it's going to execute here when you press F. So if by default you have is walking, then when you press F, is walking is going to execute. So then you want to have is walking do the walking stuff. If your character state is flying, so maybe you would bind I don't know, left alt or right alt to change your character state enum to is flying. Then when you press F, is flying would execute, and then you could do another key to do, or not even, you could just like test to see if your player is in water, and then if it's in water, then you would change your state to is swimming. So then when you press F, is swimming is activated, sitting, etc. So sitting would happen if you have a bench, you would interact with the bench. It would then change your character state to is sitting, and then I guess F, when you press F, then it would execute the is sitting command, whatever it would.
To fire off this execution pin right here. Alright, and if we were to set this to is flying, it's going to set this execution pin right here. So that means that any logic or any nodes that we put past this are going to fire depending on whichever setting that we set it to. So let's go ahead and test this out. So is walking, what we can do is hook up a print string. So remember, this is where we can print to is swimming.
Right, so there you go.
So
Setting
if you
E
remember,
and Q to
we
change.
press F to print our thing, E, now our character is walking, Q, now our character is swimming. We can change our enumeration to walking, Q, we can change our enumeration to swimming.
Right.
So this is basically enumerations in a nutshell. You have these user-defined to test struct, and then we can go ahead and double-click it to open it. And in here you're going to see the structure creation. Basically it's the same as the enumeration, but in this case a structure is essentially a group of variables. So you can see here we have one variable, which is a Boolean. And so basically what we can do is we can create a group of variables, and what we can do is add a new variable here. First of all, we'll change the first one to say text. And what we can do is change this to player name. So this next one, we can change this. We can leave it as a Boolean. We put something like is dead. Create a new variable. Maybe we want to create it as a float and name this to health. And then we'll add another variable, change this to type integer, and change the name to level. And then finally, one more variable, we can change this to the type of our test enum. And we can change the variable name
because
to
variables can also be enumerators.
character.
Oh, this is gonna get
So if we
could
save
get
that,
complicated,
we'll
huh?
go into our third person character and we'll add a new variable. We're going to name this character struct, just like that. And in the variable type, we're going to change this from byte to test structure, what we named it here. And then we can compile and save it. So here you're going to see the default value. And if we actually expand this, you're going to see all the different variables that we defined. So we have the player name, which is a text. So we can enter in smart poly, whatever your name is dead is a Boolean, so we can check true or false. Health, we can set something like 100 HP. Level, we can set to maybe level 25. And then character state, you can set to is walking, is flying, swimming, sitting. So basically this is a structure. This is a group of variables. We have the text variable, the player name, is dead, which is a Boolean, health, which is a float, level, which is an integer, and character state, which is our enumeration, custom enumeration with different states. So essentially that's what a structure is. It's a group of variables to store data for your game. So we can actually go ahead and take our character struct here and drag it onto our graph and click Get. And so what this will allow us to do is to access all of this data here that we've added. So to do that, what we want to do is add a F key, the player, and then we can also want to first, and basically you can check and do certain functionality. So if you remember, a Boolean is a true or false, so we can drag off of here and do a...
Okay, but this is breaking the structure. What if I wanted to use the structure as is?
A branch. When we press F, hook this up to our branch and check to see is the player dead or not. If they're not dead, we can go ahead and do a print string and print out their stats. So in this case, we can print out their name, and you're going to see it's convert the text to the string. We can copy and paste this, and we can print out their health, and then we can also print out the character's level, and then finally we can print out our character's state. So you can see here when we press F, we're going to get the structure is true. So I'm just going to go ahead and uncheck that, and then if we hit play, we can hit F, and you can see the structure data is being set. So we're setting it to Joe, and all of the variables we have in our game. So we have a cube, a cone, any static meshes that we import into our game, we can set this variable reference to that mesh. That is essentially what a object reference is. All right, next up we'll create another variable, and this will be of the type integer. I'm going to name this to 2D object reference. I'm going to rename this to item icon, particular variable. We're going to right click and add a new folder called blueprints. your class. Different class and whatever create built around parent and children. And select all of our icons and drag them into our item icon.
Sounds simple enough.
Hey, so guys, my name is Churner. Then, because Java is the latest of like if you have polygons.
Check. Chat GPT OpenAI integrating with Unreal Engine 5. Is that done?
A few steps that I'm going to show you. Once you've opened that website in the description below, and this folder here. Right, so we're going to need to create a custom event.
Oh, that's taking too long.
In my program, when so wave, take a look at where we left off last time.
I was an extra.
Check.
Secondhand embarrassment is a very real phenomenon. It occurs when you witness something that is so grossly turbo cringe that your body has a fight or flight response and fills you with shame from just having watched it, even though you weren't directly involved in the situation. I think the number one cause of secondhand embarrassment is bad stand-up comedy. So, like, what's the deal with airline food? Salt shakers, you fill them up, and then where does it all go? Like, when a stand-up set bombs, I feel like most people get embarrassed for the person up there. But today, I got so much secondhand embarrassment, I feel like I got a year's worth of shame in one afternoon, thanks to the TikTok congressional hearing that happened. This was an absolute mockery of the entire country. It was absolutely foul. It was painful to watch. So I'd like to show you just a few of the clips. The whole thing was about 5.5 hours long, and I can't imagine anyone can make it to the end without puking. It's brutal. It has everything you're probably imagining, tech illiteracy and horrible questions out the wazoo, all wrapped up into one 5-hour endurance test of the human patience. In a nutshell, there's been a lot of controversy about TikTok and TikTok bans, like banning on government phones, which I do agree with. I don't think there's any argument to be made that a fucking government or someone in power person should have TikTok on their phone just because of potential security risks associated with it. And this has expanded into a lot of other big debates around it. I am not a personal fan of the platform in general. I don't really use it that often. Plus, I think it's been extremely detrimental to the actual mental health and attention span of human beings. Because now, I don't know if you go on TikTok often, if you go on TikTok and it's someone just talking about something or a clip of something, there is always Subway Surfers, Rocket League, or GTA playing underneath it in order to keep your attention. Because people need such constant stimulation and jingling keys. If there's not like 3 separate videos of like bars of soap getting cut for satisfying videos, or Rocket League freestyling while the core video itself is playing, they click off. That shit is just so pathetic. It's actual brain rot behavior. I'm very curious to see in 10 years if that's going to be the commonplace for everything in the world.
That's not even the issue. The issue is that fucking people take too long to get to the goddamn point. They just take way too fucking long to get to the point.
Like if movies...
They start off the video like, hey guys, blah 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 blah. Blah 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 blah. Blah 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 blah. Finally the point. Fucking 30 minutes into the video.
Yeah, we're going to be like playing a movie, but then also underneath it, another separate movie, making sure that your attention is captured. Like, it's so baffling just how far the attention span of humans is degrading, where they can't watch a fucking 30-second video without 3 other videos also playing to keep their attention. But with all of that being said, I still don't want to see it nationally banned.
Look, if you need those 3 other videos to be playing just to get your video watched, then you should take that as a sign that your content is shit. It's actual garbage, and you need to fix your core content.
Or any shit like that. And the reason's very simple. Because I like a world where people have the freedom to choose what they do with their whole life, pretty much. So if you want to download TikTok, you should.
I only know this because I've watched some videos on TikTok, and I've seen what he's talking about. And sometimes I watch, and I'm not even watching or listening to the actual video. I'm just watching the weird shit on the site that's going. And then I scroll past it, and I don't even know what the hell I just watched. I'm just like, okay. That weird, satisfying video was pretty satisfying, not gonna lie. But your dumbass video where you were playing some game or doing some other shit was not very entertaining at all. And I kind of regret watching the whole video.
Even in spite of potential security risks to your privacy or whatever, that should entirely be on the individual's choice. Does the entertainment the platform offer outweigh the potential security risks to your data being sold or whatever? That's up to the person to decide. That's my ideal scenario where people have the freedom to make their own fucking choices there when it comes to some shit like this.
Let's just, for example, let's see how long it takes Charlie to get to the
Secondhand embarrassment is a very real phenomenon. It occurs when you witness something that is so grossly turbo cringe that your body has a fight or flight response and fills you with shame from just having watched it, even though you weren't directly involved in the situation.
Alright, 15 seconds in, he already made his point. He already made his point. From the minute he opened his mouth, he made his point. Secondhand embarrassment is real. So now from the rest of this, I'm thinking, okay, from the title, I'm thinking TikTok Congress hearing was painful. So I'm guessing that the TikTok Congress gave Charlie secondhand embarrassment. So now I'm engaged. Now I want to watch to the rest of the video. I want to watch to the end of the video just to see how exactly
fucking choices there.
It was painful. What gave him secondhand embarrassment?
When it comes to some shit like this. I've made it clear I'm no fan of TikTok. I am also very confident that there is a huge level of spyware with TikTok associated with it, more than the CEO lets on. But holy shit, this congressional hearing or whatever.
And it's not just this video.
Nothing.
Charlie does this with every single video he makes. Every single video. So let's see. This is actually scary. Right?
Today I want to show you something that will undoubtedly scare you. Have you
4 seconds in. 4 seconds in, he already made his point. The title says this is actually scary, and he's already said, today I want to show you something that will actually scare you. Now I want to watch the end of the video. I actually want to watch to see what will actually scare me.
But make the CEO of TikTok look like a patient saint, like an actual Zen master to deal with the unhinged lunacy and out-of-touch questions those fucking fossils were throwing his way. It blew my mind. It blew my fucking mind. Her, oh my god, she's so dumb.
And I've watched his streams before. His streams are actually kind of boring. I'm not gonna lie, his streams are kind of boring.
She kept asking him questions, but instead of letting him answer, she'd just say, yes, yes, yes. And then she pulled up a random shitpost on TikTok like you see this threat. Oh, fuck me. Yeah, so she pulled this up and she's like, look at this. Outrageous. It's not a viral post or anything, by the way.
That video was posted 41 days ago. As you can see, it is...
Should I react to TikToks? I didn't mean to click on that. I meant to pause it. That's all awful. She's reacting to this? What is it? What is it?
How do you feel about Lexi being...
What the fuck is that?
Slip it in. Wow. How do you feel about Lexi being pregnant?
First of all, I already know that her boyfriend's gonna walk out on her when the baby's born. Second of all, I don't even think my sister's fit to be a parent. Third of all, the baby, I might have to call CPS on them because I don't know what the baby's gonna be doing.
Rat.
أخيرا النهارده هعرف لهجة توأم روح. سوري توأم.
No.
Nina Psycho Arigato. Kawaii.
No.
Oh my god. What did you see? So much
I need more what?
There's only getting I can't my god. This is bad. This is really bad. Yeah. On it.
This is bad. This video is bad.
والله ما توقعت هاي أذكى وأسهل وصفة سويتها في رمضان بنجيب
كنت قاعدة في أمان الله لقيت جارتي ماسكة حمام.
Wait.
Hoy vine a sembrar, pero en Xochimilco. Llegamos.
What the fuck is TikTok, bro? This is garbage. What is this shit?
I can't believe we're about to talk with the Sir Alex Ferguson, arguably the greatest
Ryan
football
Reynolds
manager ever.
doing there?
He's won 13 Premier League titles.
I know. I'm super nervous. I hear he's a master intimidator.
Ryan, he's way past that part of his career. Besides, we're playing a friendly match, so...
This is an ad? Am I watching an ad?
Я просто надеюсь, что я не...
Alright, so for this one, it's just sit right
It takes
here
you on a
and...
gym date?
We were just kids when we fell.
But you can't do this to me.
How can we let this happen? Yeah, I was gonna say, you're doing it wrong. Ah, fuck! I hate that I can't pause it just by... Ah!
Damn it!
She did it! Fuck. I just wanted to skip.
I say your name, but you're not around. أنا هعمل إعادة تدوير للجسم.
Guys, TikTok is garbage. Why are you on here? What are you doing on here?
Yeah. Y está hablando con Laura tranquilamente. Right, oh, we've got some pallets. Right, oh, we've got some pallets on the go.
Okay. He's building stuff with pallets?
Hello.
Alright, let's just see what the fuck is this? He made a grill out of it? Lame. Photographer? Okay. No.
Пожалуйста, гамбургер.
No. 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 What is this? No. No. No.
Cuma nih ada satu fenomena.
No. No. What's it doing? What is this? What is the point of this? No.
You guys love Dwayne the Croc, so I decided to make a.
I decided to skip your video. Who gets that excited over a Ferrero Rocher?
Llegamos.
Is he cheating? Oh no, I don't like this. This makes me sad. Marshmallow took off his helmet. Oh no! Stupid. Shut it. Shut it the fuck up. That's fake. Stupid. Oh, they're gonna land in the cup! Boring. No. I can't do that. Shut up.
This is why you need to clean your strawberry.
What? His strawberries weren't like that when he... Did he? This is so stupid. What is this, bro? He just fucking took his hat? Oh, disgusting. No. 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 No.
Assalamu alaikum.
No. 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 A cat? I like cats. Is she pregnant? I don't like the music though. Shut up. No. What is this guy doing? Get out of here.
So I've decided I'm not going to make any fat jokes anymore.
I've decided to skip your video.
Okay, grown-ups?
Shut up.
تعالي ده انت هتنور البيت.
انتوا مودين على
I've
been confused as of late, yeah.
What's this guy doing? He gave her a heart attack. Oh no.
Mi corazón, ¿usted qué prefiere, mi amor?
Oh no.
El Pepe.
Is that the same cat that wasn't eating?
Hey, excuse me, bro. How much money's in your bank account?
No.
เอาว่าไม่ดวงความรักความ
TikTok sucks. Who goes on TikTok? Oh my god! TikTok is so bad!
Cuando
How much for a piece of chicken? It's not ready yet. Oh, it's my.
So boring. Disgusting. Poopy.
Caption me as F.
Dude who asked about TikTok using Wi-Fi? I don't remember, but I think they were trying to make a bigger point. And this is really
Disgusting
giving a very
TikTok.
charitable bone to the person who asked the question. I think what they were getting at with asking about Wi-Fi is he was trying to state that if one device is connected to a network, it can access everything on that network, which it can, but he couldn't ask the question because I don't think he really fully understood it.
Wait, what was the question?
Outrageous. It's not a viral post or anything, by the way.
That video was posted 41 days ago. As you can see, it is captioned me as F.
Me
Dude,
as fuck, right? Okay, so it's a gun. It's a video about a gun.
TikTok using Wi-Fi. I don't remember, but I think they were trying to make a bigger point. And this is really giving.
I guess he's just replying to something someone in chat said.
A bone to the person who asked the question. I think what they were getting at with asking about Wi-Fi is he was trying to state that if one device is connected to a network, it can access everything on that network, which it can, but he couldn't ask the question because I don't think he really fully understood it. But again, I'm doing a very charitable service trying to even make some sense out of that awful question. This accomplished nothing except making their CEO look better because they couldn't even wrap their head around.
By Dance Share Leak Dance.
Wait for an answer instead of every app in the CP and shit, which was creational or useful questions. All of the US user data will now be on this hootenanny unprepared and fell flat. No, made me even let the guy answer her questions because she's ashamed to be a Floridian herself. Now, while she may have come to this hootenanny unprepared and made me ashamed to be a Floridian, she did mention something that I think is important to talk about briefly, which is Project Texas. Project Texas is something TikTok did to appease the US. In a quick nutshell, Project Texas is...
The cornerstone feature of Project Texas is a new subsidiary TikTok US Data Security Inc. USDS. TikTok established USDS in July 2022. The new entity houses the functions of TikTok's business that are most likely to give rise to national security concerns, such as access to U.S. citizen data and decisions on content moderation. It will be governed by an independent board of directors, which TikTok will nominate and CFIUS will review. The board will report to CFIUS and not to ByteDance or to the global TikTok entity. Oracle will oversee data entering the entity and data exiting the entity so as to ensure that the data flows do not pose national security risks.
Is US user data.
So Oracle, these mugs, the people behind Java, is going to be monitoring the data coming in and out from TikTok.
Sent to Oracle, which is on American soil, as opposed to going anywhere else. So all of the US user data will now be on American soil, and Oracle kind of oversees the whole thing.
On a device in one pocket, but download it on your device in the other doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. I believe Congress and DoD should address the continued use of TikTok on military installations as well as any use that depicts U.S. military operations. Mr. Chu, does TikTok access the home Wi-Fi network?
Does TikTok access the home Wi-Fi network? Yes, it does, obviously. If it's connected to the Wi-Fi, it also connects via Ethernet. If I were to just type in TikTok, right? So now it's on the internet. It requires internet to access this data.
User turns on the Wi-Fi. I'm sorry, I may not understand the.
So if I have TikTok app.
Again, this is being very charitable. I think the point he was trying to make is when it accesses the Wi-Fi, it has access to all of your devices that are within that network, which every device that accesses your Wi-Fi does.
Yeah.
That is factual. That is true. Which is actually something that happened to Kaya. He downloaded a burglar broke in and downloaded a torrent, and it came with a virus, which infected multiple devices that were on his network. It is known that when you are on a Wi-Fi network, it connects to more than just the single thing that's connected to it. It's everything there.
He's basically
So I think his
asking.
point was,
I think what he was asking is TikTok malware?
can it access my other devices? Which is why he's talking about like downloading on a device next to me, shit like that. But the way he asked that question is so bafflingly stupid that even the TikTok CEO's like, fucking obviously, it's gonna access your Wi-Fi if you turn it on, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's just crazy questions. Again, it's a very often giving question, kind of hints more at what I was saying, even though it's still poorly asked and his follow-up question is still poorly phrased. I do think, with a high level of confidence, the thing he was trying to get at is TikTok going to be accessing all kinds of things on my network outside of just the one device that I'm using right now to connect?
What's malware by definition? Software that is specifically designed to disrupt, damage, or gain unauthorized access to a computer system. So he's asking, is TikTok malware?
He really wanted to get at, but he didn't know how to get to that topic effectively. So he ended up making a very silly question out of the whole thing, which really sums up the entire hearing. Just silly questions that didn't do anything at all. They didn't get any answers. They didn't get to the bottom of any real questions people have. It was just a genuine fucking circus. Just an absolute clown show. That's really bad.
TikTok doesn't have any more access to your phones or your system as any other app would. I think most it's no, there wouldn't be a malware. It doesn't make sense for TikTok to be malware. Is it stupid? Yes. Is it garbage? Yes. Is it fucking boring and awful? Yes. It's all of those things, but it's not malware. It might be like malware for your brain because it fucking gets in your mind and has unauthorized access to your brain. But, I mean, is it really unauthorized if you let it? I guess not. I guess that's by definition it's not. You're authorizing its ability to live in your brain rent free. So, oh, Twitch is in trouble.
When was the last time you heard something about Twitch that wasn't overwhelmingly negative? I can't even remember. It's been so long. Trying to remember a time where the Twitch higher-ups seemed in touch with the community is like trying to remember a dream. Like, it's just extremely hard. How long it's been since Twitch was doing things that people generally liked. For years now, it's just been rolling out features that nobody in the world has ever asked for and that contribute nothing to the platform. Anyone remember just a couple months back when they had their version of Super Chats, where they would take a paid message and then put it underneath the stream where nobody in the world could see it? So you were actually just throwing money into the void, just flushing it down your toilet, basically. God rest the soul of Elevated Chat. I'm sure all 3 people who ever used that feature are still distraught and mourning the loss of such an incredible monetization tool. Like, it is so misguided. Another feature that they've rolled out that I'm sure none of you even knew existed is something called Reacts, where you as a viewer while watching a stream can react to it, and all it does is you can send an emote at that
Does it still do that? Does it? I thought I saw it. It's still there, right? Yeah, it's still there. Yeah, it's... Hello? Hello? My voice sounds so tinny. What does it do though?
You click react to let the streamer know what you thought of that moment, that second. So that way when the streamer goes to their dashboard, they can click on the reacts and see like, oh, at minute 55 of my stream, I had 3 pogs. That must have been a really good moment.
Who does that?
It's
Who uses
fucking
that?
worthless features. It is nothing but horrible decisions from this company. They're making more bad choices than a college student who just took his first shot of Fireball. But unlike the college student, Twitch isn't drunk. They're just stupid. I'm getting heated. Of course, not everyone at Twitch is this silly. Like, not everyone's going wacko mode with these ideas. There are real people at Twitch that understand the platform, but they don't have the same power that the higher-ups do that are rolling out these awful decisions. Why am I talking about this? Well, it's because they've just revealed 2 new awful decisions over the last 24 hours. Now, one of them, admittedly, is not their fault. This comes with the layoffs. I will show you some clips from last night's stream where I really dive in deep on those. But the other one that not a lot of people have realized yet is they also made a statement on their sub-revenue split. You might remember, I also mentioned it recently in another video. Last year, towards the end of the year, Twitch announced that it would be getting rid of the 70-30 sub-revenue deal that they had with streamers. So
70-30? Did they take 70%? Wait, how does that work? They took 70%?
So now it would be 50-50 across the board, 70-30 would no longer exist, which means Twitch now offers the lowest amount of revenue to streamers in the entire industry. They're now at the bottom of the food chain when it comes to sub-splits across the board of every streaming platform.
I'm confused. So then that means they were taking 30. And the streamer was getting 70. Holy shit.
And by a wide margin. YouTube is 70-30. I mean, even Kick is like 90-10, I think, or even 95-5, I don't remember. But they offer the lowest split of subs. And it's not even close. And they really don't have any tools in place to try and make up for that, so instead they double down on ads, which is worse for everyone. Streamers don't like running ads. Viewers don't like watching ads. Thus, you're immediately killing the 2 people that make streaming work, streamers and viewers. You are rolling out things that neither side want. Their Galaxy Brain solution to the taking 20% away from the streamers is to force them to run more ads if they want to make up for that lost revenue. And streamers don't want to do that because that drives away their viewers. That's bad. I mean, sometimes the viewers will come back, but when you run an ad on Twitch, you lose viewers. It's just how it works because no one wants to sit through fucking 10 unskippable ads, so they'll go somewhere else. Maybe they come back, maybe they don't. And this is extremely detrimental because of pre-roll ads that play when you click on a stream for the first time. This is the nail in the coffin for a lot of smaller streamers where even if they're doing really cool content, a lot of people never find it because when they click on that stream and they get fucking 2 back-to-back 30-second ads, they just instantly leave and they'll never go back. So clearly it was a very controversial decision, one that a lot of people took issue with, and now Twitch is saying that we heard everything everyone was saying. It was a very loud conversation.
Overall, a more lucrative place to stream through product innovations and sponsorships for streamers. Damn, they really want 50-50? What? Where the fuck? Well, where do they get off? Where the fuck do they think they deserve 50-50?
And we laughed at all of you, and we're spitting in your face. We made the right decision, nerds. It's gonna be 50-50 forever. So they're patting each other on the back, slapping their ass, saying, good game out there, team. They are taking their victory lap, letting us all know that 50-50 is here to stay forever, and then try and elaborate on why it's a good thing and how they're going to change their monetization model in order to make Twitch the #1 place to stream when it comes to revenue for streamers. And in the interview, they said, we talk a lot about how we're in this together, and part of that is innovation. We are committed to continuing to improve our monetization products and building new monetization products, and at the end of the day, we're committed to increasing the amount of money a streamer earns. Wow, such noble intentions with absolutely no way of delivering. One of the things Twitch is really going buck wild with is their ad incentive program. And here's what they had to say about that. Surprisingly, they did recognize that the intrusiveness of ads on Twitch is a big issue, one that they're trying to work on. So they said the acceptance and engagement on the ad incentive program far exceeded our expectations, so streamers are clearly seeing the value in running ads now. I like how they're saying that like a mark of pride. Streamers aren't happy about that, by the way. It's just that's their only option. In fact, if you go on Twitter and spend even just a couple of seconds typing in the Twitch ad incentive program, you'll see a lot of people outraged at it because a lot of the asks are huge for the ad incentive program, up to like fucking 7 minutes worth of ads. I've seen them. Like, for example, Caleb, Just Joel, streams often. He's shown me his ad incentive program. Rex Gunderson, he's shown me his. Like, the asks are not small, and the pay they're offering isn't huge for smaller streamers. Even in the rare instance where a couple of larger streamers posted their ad incentives where it was a lot of money for like fucking 6 or 7 minutes of ads per hour, they still, most of them chose not to do it because of how intrusive all of the ads were to the viewers. It just makes the experience of watching their stream awful. Having to be inundated with fucking 7 minutes of ads per hour is a lot when it comes to streaming. So a lot of them still just didn't choose to do it. The only reason there is any level of acceptance with the ad incentive program is because you have forced people to swallow this shit. Since there's now no longer a 70-30 deal or anything like that, the amount of sub revenue you can generate is significantly less. In fact, you'd probably make more money buying and reselling eggs right now than you would trying to rely on sub money on Twitch. Now going forward, Minton acknowledged the state of ads on the platform isn't perfect yet, and the company has taken steps to reduce their intrusiveness through static in-player ads and disabling pre-roll ads if creators display at least 3 minutes of ads per hour. We're really thinking about ad placement generally and ensuring that, as a viewer, when you're looking for a new community, that we're reducing the impact of ads. So they do recognize how it's very bad for small streamers when pre-rolls are playing. And right now their solution is, we'll just play more ads during your stream and we'll get rid of pre-rolls.
Honestly, I don't think there's any way you could do ads right. This right here, what Charlie's doing with the background stuff, that would be the only way that you could do an ad, because he's advertising Godslap, he's advertising fucking Pokemon for free, he's advertising his own merch, Moist merch, he's advertising G Fuel, and then this cat bed.
Like, it's literally Ouroboros, just constantly fucking feeding on ads and eating its own tail. Everything...
And he hasn't had to say a single word about running an ad.
Is all about ads, and it's still intrusive. Like, it is still there. Like, pre-rolls will exist unless you are running ads throughout your stream. So I still also don't understand why skippable ads aren't on the
product
platform.
placement. That's what it's called.
Like, I feel like skippable ads would at least help alleviate some of the headache there and make the ad breaks a little more palatable. But still, another thing that they mention is like all of their innovative tools they're working on to help creators monetize their content. They don't really shine a bright light on what all of those new innovations are looking like. Though I do imagine one of them they're talking about, because they do briefly mention like sponsorship opportunities through streaming on Twitch, and I think what they're talking about there is like something similar to the bounty board. Bounty board is something that's existed on Twitch for quite a few years now. Basically, companies will pay Twitch to have streamers of X amount of viewers stream their product for however many hours, and Twitch will give a portion of that money that the brand is paid to the streamer. I mean, in theory, like, the concept is actually pretty solid, right? If Twitch is going to facilitate brand deals like that and just put it right on your dashboard, that's a pretty decent idea. But most people have woken up to the fact that the deal is shit. Twitch is taking the lion's share of that brand deal, and the streamer is getting very little comparatively to what they would get if they just chased down the same deal themselves or with like an agency or something. Like, if you're going to do a stream deal through Twitch, you're better off just clicking on the bounty board to see who's looking for streamers and then reach out to the company yourself, or have your manager or whatever agency you're with reach out to them for you and let them know you're interested, because you'll get a much better rate that way. Because Twitch has taken almost all of it. Like, I don't know many people that still use the bounty board, because most people have realized this now. It is paying significantly less than had you just gotten the deal through any other means. So it's a decent idea in theory if Twitch wasn't taking so much of the brand deal. So I've been ranting about this for a while, but you can see there's a lot of problems that plague Twitch when it comes to streaming on there and trying to make a living.
I guess it's useful for people that for streamers that it's useful for streamers that don't have an agency, that don't have anyone that can reach out to these companies for them, and it's useful for them, I guess. But the problem is that the only way you're able to actually get those deals is if you have enough followers and subscribers. But if you have enough subscribers and followers, then you can just get your own deals. So you don't need anyone to help you with that. It's a weird situation that they have themselves in.
Off of it, which is why so many streamers are choosing to stream elsewhere. YouTube or Kick really are the two main competitors at the moment that people are switching to or starting with. And it's because you have a much better chance of making a living on those two platforms at the moment. Discoverability on Twitch used to be one of its strongest benefits, but currently Twitch doesn't really have an edge in that category anymore either, mainly because of what I mentioned earlier, pre-rolls. If you're towards the bottom and someone's willing to take a chance on your content, they click on it and they get a pre-roll, they left. They're most likely not going to stick around for that. Whereas if you started on YouTube or Kick, there's
other reasons why you might lose a viewer. For example, like I spend a lot of time not talking. There's a lot of dead air in my videos or in my stream, and so because of that, there might be times where somebody might come in, watch my stream for like a second, even though I don't have ads, or I don't run ads, I don't have access to running ads, and they'll just see that what I'm doing might not be very interesting, or maybe I'm not one of the top 1% of gamers, and they're just like, oh well, this guy sucks and he's not very entertaining, so I'm just gonna click off. So there's a lot of reasons why someone might click off your video, and if you're running ads, it amplifies that, I guess.
Your content's immediately accessible to anyone who might find it. So yeah, you just stand a better chance of getting found elsewhere outside of Twitch at the moment, I would argue at least. So there's a lot of problems plaguing Twitch right now. They've made it very clear that they're not exactly turning the profit they'd like to be turning, and the decisions they're making to try and be more profitable are only hurting their platform even further. So let's talk about the layoffs now. Twitch laid off 400 employees yesterday, and what's crazy is the employees don't even know who got laid off yet. So the employees are still fucking trembling in fear, wondering if they even have a job anymore. But this isn't a Twitch exclusive problem. I'm sure all of you know, all of the big tech businesses, the tech industry as a whole, experienced a lot of bloat over the last few years because of COVID. They hired a lot of people. Now they're firing a lot of those people because they don't need that many employees, and they're not utilizing that many employees. Thus, they're making a lot of cuts. Amazon laid off like 9,000 people yesterday, so of course the 400 laid off at Twitch were a part of that. Yeah, we can talk about the Twitch stuff now. I see a lot of people coming after Twitch for the layoff. They laid off 400 staff members. I think it's very interesting that Dan Clancy, the new CEO of Twitch, is the one to make this announcement, as opposed to like a parting gift from Emmett Shear, the previous CEO. That was kind of surprising.
So this is the new CEO's doing? Holy shit.
Because this is not really how you want to start your reign as the Twitch CEO, with 400 jobs taken away. But it's also not...
Dan Clancy. Let's look this guy up. Ew. American technologist? Twitch. Vice President. Ew, this is the guy? He looks so fucking... He looks like the type of dude that would do that shit. Okay, let's read this. In 2019, Clancy joined Twitch initially as Vice President of Creator and Community Experience, reporting to CEO Emmett Shear. He later became president of the Amazon-owned parent company of Twitch, Twitch Interactive, while also leading the product engineering, and go-to-market functions. On September 21st, 2022, in a 3 a.m. blog post, Clancy announced that Twitch would lower the subscription split partnered streamers received to 50-50 from the previous 70-30, reportedly to ensure Twitch would not operate at a loss. On the same day, man, so they basically said, they're like, oh man, these Twitch streamers, they're making so much money they could afford to lose an extra 20%. Meanwhile, they're complaining. They were complaining that this was too much. They were complaining that 70-30 was too much. On the same day, Bloomberg reported that Twitch's vice president of global creators, Constance Knight, would be leaving the company. The company's chief content officer, Mike Aragon, and chief operating officer, Sarah Clemens, had also left earlier the same year. The change was criticized by streamers, as well as the head of competitor YouTube Gaming, Ryan Wyatt, saying the creators should be getting a disproportionate amount. This shouldn't even be up for debate. YouTube Gaming offers a 70-30 split, while platforms like OnlyFans and Patreon take 20% or less. Twitch streamer Point Crow wrote, the fact Twitch's solution to monetary problems is to cut creator pay rather than facilitate a better platform so more viewers visit the live streaming site is incredibly worrying. Yeah, man. On March 16, 2023, man, they need an algorithm. What Twitch needs is an algorithm to get streamers in front of viewers. Like, if I go to Twitch right now, right, the people right here and in this right here, it shouldn't be these people. I don't care about these people. They're not even, like, maybe I might with one person, but they're not even, like, they're not tailored to what I would watch. I don't know, man. I don't know. It should be like very. Clancy became damn. Fuck Dan Clancy.
Not their fault. Amazon laid off 9K. So people need to realize that since Twitch is part of Amazon, this is part of the overall Amazon layoffs. I don't think Twitch itself was the one that kind of spearheaded it. Though I will say I think Twitch is a bloated company. I feel like losing 500 staff members isn't necessarily going to change too much about it. But I could be wrong. Maybe these are like really crucial members. But what's kind of fucked up about it is apparently the Twitch staff don't even know who's been fired. It sounds like huge corporate shit. Yeah, that is kind of wild that the employees themselves don't know if they've been laid off or not yet. I feel like they probably should have told them that they're fired before making the announcement. 400 employees fired out of 1,200 is fucking rough. Is that how many Twitch has? Is it 1,200? I don't know why, but I thought it was more. But yeah, I mean, it's not a small number by any means, but I do think Twitch was very bloated. I don't think you needed that many employees to begin with. They're clearly not utilizing them to their full potential. Like, I can count on one hand the amount of features they've rolled out over the last couple years, right? Like, they're clearly not being put to great use over there. But this wasn't like this wasn't explicitly a Twitch decision. This is just the entire tech industry. I don't remember where the source was now, but there's a whole article written up about the collapse of the tech industry jobs right now. I believe they cited that because of COVID, all of these companies panic hired a ton of people because they thought they'd need significantly more employees to like run remote and all of that. So all of these companies really exploded with the amount of people on their payroll over COVID, and now that that's not going on anymore, they just have all of these, like this wild list of employees that they don't use, they don't need anymore, so now they're letting them all go all at once, so it's just this huge exodus. I'm sure you've all heard the expression, fake it till you make it, but today I want to take a look at what happened.
Oh man. Wow. Wow. I didn't even watch that. I didn't even know that. I'm gonna stop streaming on Twitch. I'm gonna go to YouTube.
I just read something so ridiculous that I've been sitting here for the last like 10 or 15 minutes just stewing in my own filthy anger, almost in like this meditative state, just trying to process the absurdity of it. And this is a situation I'm not even involved in, and yet still it has managed to steam my vegetables just because of how outrageous it is. This whole thing is so crazy, I just couldn't help myself but share it with all of you, so I hope you don't mind if I hit the dance floor real quick and bust it wide open for you here. So 2 months ago, some of you may have seen that Afroman posted this music video, "Will You Help Me Repair My Door?" This went viral on TikTok, Twitter, and YouTube as well, and basically it's Afroman making a song out of a raid that was conducted on his property based on narcotics and kidnapping claims, and it turns out it was completely bogus. They got nothing out of it, and they kind of ransacked this whole place, and he had cameras set up around his property that recorded all of it, so he made a music video kind of teasing them about it. He made a catchy little jingle about the whole thing, and the title is about, you know, them breaking his door and breaking his gate and just going over the damage that they caused there while looking really silly. And now he is being sued for it. He is being sued because the officers were offended, their feelings got hurt, and they're claiming emotional distress. He clowned on them, and it hurt their goddamn feelings so much that now they're coming after him legally. It wasn't enough to just destroy his property and pillage his home like they were Vikings, and also traumatize his kids apparently, which is something he mentions in his song. Now they want to slap him even more by issuing this lawsuit to him.
Countersuit.
Which I think is just an absolute load of baloney. What a pile of dirty barnacles. 4 deputies, 2 sergeants, and a detective with the Adams County Sheriff's Office brought the suit earlier this month, claiming an invasion of privacy. Let me just stop you right there, Chief. An invasion of privacy, huh? You are on his private property. He has every right to record you. I'm not a lawyer, but would you also make this claim if you made yourself look fucking silly at a Starbucks who has security camera footage of you in their store? Like, let's say you spilt coffee or you were pouring coffee down your lieutenant's butthole, giving him an enema in public, and they're like, oh, this is kind of embarrassing. We're going to sue you for an invasion of privacy because you filmed us. Would the argument work there in that place of business? I imagine private residents...
They're public servants. They don't have the right to privacy.
Also still have the right to record you when you are on their property. They don't need your consent. You entered their domain. You stepped into their neck of the woods. I feel like they have the right to record you, but again, I'm not a lawyer. I'm just a stupid paint-huffing idiot when it comes to the law, but I still just find the claim comical, an invasion of privacy. I guess them going through all of his shit, throwing his suits all over the place, breaking down his doors and all of that in his own home.
They're public fucking servants, dude. What
that's
privacy
just a
are they entitled to?
Wrongful invasion, considering this whole thing was completely bogus. It was a completely botched little raid here. They're claiming that Afroman used their faces from the raid and used it in music videos and social media posts without their consent.
For emotional damage, bro. Countersuit. His kids can countersue. Bro.
Again, I don't think he needed that, considering they're on his private property in the first place, but regardless, they go on saying it's caused them emotional distress, embarrassment, ridicule, loss of reputation, and humiliation. So these officers were born with glass bones and paper skin, huh? They can't take a few jokes on the internet. I imagine they're lying about this. I can't imagine they actually suffered any real emotional distress or anything. I don't think people were on the streets shooting spitballs at them as they walked by, pointing and laughing. Though they should, because they're fucking clowns for what they did here. I can't show the music video, but I highly recommend watching it. They look so fucking stupid in this thing. And it's all dog shit. Like, none of it was real to begin with here. It was just a completely failed raid from top to bottom. And they even had the audacity to disconnect his cameras when they noticed that the security cameras were on. It's just foul. Completely foul. I do hope they feel silly. But apparently, the silliness doesn't...
They disconnected the cameras because they're like, oh shit, he's got evidence.
Stop there. Maybe it's a humiliation fetish, because now they're suing him and making themselves look even stupider, which is crazy. I'll go ahead and boil all this down for you. The plaintiffs are seeking all of Afroman's profits from the use of their personas. That includes the proceeds from songs, music videos, and live event tickets, as well as any of the money that he made using their likeness and his brand and other merchandise. And they're also looking for an injunction to take down the videos. Afroman made like an entire album's worth of songs around this raid on his property, and they all fucking bang. It is so amazing. Afroman absolutely crushed it with this whole thing. It literally turned into like a money-making merchandise music video, like empire, all off of this failed raid from them. And now they're coming to put their hand in his cookie jar and take all of that money away that he made from this whole situation.
Nah, they're not gonna get shit.
Attempting to countersue them for the undeniable damage this had on my client's family, career, and property. Law enforcement officers were acting on a warrant that stated probable cause existed that drugs and drug paraphernalia would be found on his property and that trafficking and kidnapping had taken place there. But it turns out that boogeyman was completely wrong. All of those suspicions turned out to be unfounded, and the raid failed to turn up any real criminal evidence, so charges were never filed. And in Afroman's music video, through the cameras, he was able to notice that some of the deputies may have seized some of his money. He was talking about some missing money that took place during all of this, and whoa, can you believe it? After a subsequent review by the State Bureau of Criminal Investigations, they determined that the deputies had miscounted the amount seized during the raid itself. What a silly little error that was. That's what a goofy little freak
You should
accident
get fired,
that
bro,
was, that some of the
for being
money
a thief,
was just a
and then
little
sent to jail
miscounted,
for
and
being
some
a
of it
thief
went missing,
on the
guess?
job.
That's odd. So that's really this whole situation. They're suing because they looked fucking stupid here, and a lot of people were making fun of them for this whole situation. Afroman put them on blast and made an entire album's worth of content around it, and now they're out for revenge.
Fuck them.
So I can't show you the music video, but I highly encourage you watch it. I would like to show you a couple frames from it and just kind of talk about it because it is so fucking wild. I'll go ahead and crop their faces out so they can't feel offended or humiliated here. But so this is one of the early shots. The officers were going around checking every nook and cranny of his property. I guess for kidnapping victims are like pounds upon pounds of weed.
A billion pounds of weed.
Officer Action over here, fucking Danger Commander, comes over and like looks behind the couch here as if he was gonna find like some kind of like goblin or
with
something
this
back
fucking
there that
gun
he's
of all
like,
things.
I understand they thought that there was some kidnapping element to this whole thing, but I mean, even in this situation, if there
Why
was
with
a
the
kid back
fucking
there and you
gun?
climb over the back of the couch, you're immediately pointing a gun in their face.
That,
I can't
bro,
imagine that's
that.
the best way of looking for kidnapping victims.
What the
like the way
fuck,
they
dude?
go through his whole property is very cartoonish. Here's a little shot
a
of some of the
fucking
team out here
gun?
for the class field trip. One of them is dressed like he's ready for actual combat, as if he was gonna get in here like a G.I. Joe episode and fucking hunt down Cobra Commander in this property. So the first thing they did when they arrived is they busted through this gate here and broke it. So Afroman's already down one gate just from them showing up, and then they go
Like
to
they
his
couldn't
door,
just
and this is
open
where
it.
you
It
get
just,
the
I
title
don't
of the
think it was
song.
locked.
They
They
blast
could have
this
just
shit
opened it.
in. This shit just gets rocketed off the frame here. So, you know, he's asking, you know, can you repair my door and my gate? Like, that's the whole point of the song. Like, can you repair this shit? And then also pointing out all of the other goofy things that happened. And here's where Afroman started to get a little suspicious about them potentially taking money from him. So he starts talking about it in this scene right here. This was already after going through and throwing around half of his belongings and like going through each and every
they
soup
eat his
pocket
lemon
they could
pound cake?
find. And here's the final shot. This is where the fun comes to an end. They disconnect his cameras, so they open up this panel in the wall and they disconnect all the shit, so he could no longer record the rest of what was going on the property. I just really had to talk about it because it got me fuming. To turn around and sue someone for hurt feelings after you were just in the wrong to begin with is just such a level of delusion that I can't help but be upset about. Afroman did nothing wrong. He recorded you guys and then took a bad situation that you have created. The claims you were there investigating, nothing was ever found, so it all seems like bullshit. And he took that and he made comedy out of it. He made content out of it to try and turn something shitty was ever found, so it all seems like bullshit. And he took that and he made comedy out of it. He made content out of it to try and turn something shitty into something less shitty, and now he's being punished for it, or at least attempting to, from these extremely sensitive, I guess, officers that are super offended that people have been making fun of them for this. Like, it's pretty disgusting. So yeah, I just wanted to at least put this out there because it was something that I felt very strongly about. That's really about it.
That's too funny, dude. Fucking fuck them. I hope Afroman sues the shit out of them. They deserve to get sued. S2C asks ChatGPT how to ask CSGO devs for access to CS2.
In the style of
I want to ask a game developer to invite me to their limited playtest. I want to look cool and fresh. Short and swagged out request in the style of XQC. Yo, dev peeps. Any chance you got a slot for your boy in that lit playtest? I'm all about that fresh gameplay. Ready to dive in and give you the juice. Let's go. That's fucking the one he was gonna type. Get me in, please, King. I beg. XQCL though? Isn't that's wrong, right? He had to delete the L. My juicer so well. Oh, cool. Something.
Now, a lot of stuff in this video is going to be speculation. However, I still believe there are valid reasons to be excited for the sub-tick system. But times are tough, so before we begin, here's Skins Monkey. Skins Monkey is an automated service that lets you trade skins instantly for a fee. Sign up now and get up to $5 bonus. Simply add items from your inventory, then find skins that matches your current balance. Site offers live support 24/7. You can also top up your balance if you're missing a few dollars, and there's a lot of skins to choose from. So visit my link down below to get to Skins Monkey, but now let's go back to the video. Before I became a full-time YouTuber, I used to work in IT, security, and administration. That's right, I was a computer whiz, managing wireless systems, repairing computers, offering advice to businesses on how to improve their IT infrastructure, all that jazz. And let me tell you, one of the softwares that we used back in the days was Wireshark. Pretty cool to see that it's still being used today. I guess good software never dies. Anyway, for this video, I want to use Wireshark, which you can use to monitor network packets, to see if we can figure out subticks. So I went to 3 different servers, a 64-tick Valve official server, a 128-tick community server, and finally a Valve official server in CS2 that uses subtick. And let me tell you, the results were pretty damn interesting. Basically, what I did was filter out 10 seconds of a long packet capture that I did to the servers. From that, I logged the packet numbers, the timestamp, the time between packets, which is the most interesting part, the source being me, the destination obviously to the server, through UDP protocol, the length of the packet, and all that port stuff at the end. So by checking out the 64-tick server from Valve, you can see the time in between each packet that I captured here. As you can see, they're not all the same. There's some variable. See what I did there? But the cool thing to know is if I average all the time in between from all these packets, I get 15.62 milliseconds. Now, why is that interesting? Well, if you divide 1 by 64-tick, you get 0.0156, and if you multiply that by 1,000, you'll convert the seconds to milliseconds, which is 15.625 milliseconds. Sure makes it look like I'm playing on a 64-tick server. We can also see that I grabbed 10 seconds, and each second has roughly 64 packets. This is too good to be true, but it seems to me, simply speculating, that all this confirms the server's tick rate. Moving on to the 120.
Okay, it has to be 64 tick because, for one, they never said it was 128 tick. They just said that they're using a new method for calculating the tick rate, and it's called subtick. So the way I'm imagining subtick works, let me see if I can get like a paint. Okay, so so let's just say you have a server, right? That's the server. And then, then you have you, which is right here. And then you submit a click here. And then let's say these are other players on the server submitting to the server. Put S, player, player, player. Okay, so they're submitting a click, and then they said, let's say that they sent a click at like some time, right? 106, and then like seconds, blah blah blah, and then this is like 107, and then 108. Ooh, that's just rough, right? So then it'll add it up on the server side and give you the exact output, right? So you got your input, your output. And it's just able to keep track of that back and forth. But let's say this is like a different time zone, so this is like 2:07 instead of 1:06, and then AM, this is like 4:08 AM. On the server side, it will be able to calculate that 4:08 is 1:06 AM, or is 1:08 AM. And then 2:07 AM is also, 1:07 AM. And so when it's sending you this information, it's able to just do the calculations, server side, subtick, instead of doing it once per tick. However that's measured, whatever a tick's measured at. So it would use a time rather than a tick. A timestamp type of thing. And you could do that pretty easily.
128-tick community server, we can see the average millisecond between packets is 7.81 milliseconds. Does this match?
It will probably be better to use let's see. So if I did so then that's what it would send to the server. One 168, and if you're looking at that, it has those micro adjustments, and so that's what the sub tick would be. Instead of waiting for a tick, it's going based on this float value, and so then it's able to know that, you know, at this time a click was submitted, and then at this time a click from somebody else was submitted. So obviously the time that was submitted first would have priority, and it would just convert it all to just one unified time.
128 tick. Well, if we do 1 divided by 128 tick, multiply that by 1000, we get 7.81 milliseconds. So yeah, I feel like it kinda does. And get this, the total packets that I captured per second on this server during the 10 seconds that I filtered out were exactly 128 packets per second. Finally, let's go to the elephant in the room. Now on this CS2 server, we see the average millisecond between packets being 7.84 milliseconds. This is pretty damn close to the 128 tick server in CSGO. And get this, each second captured roughly 128 packets. What we can gather from this is that based on this capture, it matches the 128 tick community server more than the 64 tick server. But we're not done there. Notice the fastest and slowest times between packets. We got as slow as 18 milliseconds all the way down to just 0.015 milliseconds. That is insanely fast. But if you look at the 128 tick server, fastest and slowest are closer to each other, and fastest doesn't even come close to the sub-tick server. 0.015, that's so fast, you could pretty much call it instant. Oh, isn't that what sub-tick is all about? But why do we see such a huge gap from the fastest and slowest time between packets here? Speculating, once again, but notice with every 2 packets comes the same pattern. We get slow time, then fast time between packets, slow time, then fast, slow time and fast, slow time, and you get it, right? So, speculating again, Valve's sub-tick system is just too good to be true, so they had to optimize it. And this is how they did it. Basically, the important stuff in the game, like shooting, is sent instantly, and the boring stuff, like throwing a grenade, is back in the bus. Now that would be pretty cool, right? I mean, if this is the case, and I don't know, you know? I'm simply speculating. Now, is sub-tick real? Yeah, I think we can say it's real, or at least the time between looks completely different from the 128 tick server. So Valve are using something different for this CS2 server. And what about speed? Is sub-tick fast or better than 128 tick? Overall, I don't know, but according to this, it seems the fastest time between packets is as fast as it possibly can be, with the drawback of having super slow as well. That's what I get from this info. It's honestly awesome. Let's do this one last time before we end the video so I don't get sued. I am speculating. Peace.
I think I get it. I kind of get it, but I also don't get it. I'm fucking dumb as shit when it comes to this kind of stuff. But as long as it feels better, right?
CS2 is currently on a limited test. I was finally able to get in myself, and I really wanted to get this video out early to show you guys what's changed. After you get the CS2 limited test, you'll find a new game folder next to CSGO, which is CS2. So, can you move your config? Sure, answer is no. The structure inside is different, and your old config won't properly execute. This includes binds, which is kind of expected, to be honest.
I hate it. Get out of here.
Отлично. Но они хотят. Профессионалы, мы пока... Первый хит! Подожди.
So, as you all know, I love my movement stuff, especially in CSGO, and now that Counter-Strike 2 is finally out with the new Source 2 engine, I wanted to see just how different the movement would be. Firstly though, I would like to thank my friend Dynasty for letting me use his account to play CS2, Spike Hydro, among opening crates, I think. Here, just watch.
That's why with Counter-Strike 2,
State Arcade basically just... There's only one map playable, as less I'll have to get used to, but I still think
boring.
I'm going to teach you how to use the tool Control Rig that comes with Unreal Engine 5 to create characters animations that can be used in games and films. And the way Control Rig works is pretty straightforward. First, we'll create controls that will allow us to easily modify the pose of the character. For example, we'll create a control like this one that the head will constantly look at. Then we are going to use Sequencer to animate the character directly in the viewport of Unreal Engine 5. And finally, we are going to export this animation to an animation sequence asset that we'll be able to use in our games and films. Okay, so first we need to create a control. And then, so I won't go until we'll continue. I'm going to right click and select the role of a root bone of a select new, then new control.
Alright, you know what? I'm gonna get off here. I want to do some stuff in Unreal Engine, and I can't do Unreal Engine stuff and stream at the same time. Oh, my computer takes a shit. It barely works when I'm not streaming. So yeah, that's just where I'm at. But I'm gonna go do some Unreal stuff, and that's the end of this stream. Thanks for stopping by. If you did, thanks for watching. If you're watching after, and yeah, I'll be on tomorrow, so look out for that. Anyways, GG's. Thank you, friends. Goodbye.